Let's dive into the tale of Yi Chen, a guy who crash-landed. He figured he'd hit the jackpot, expecting a god-tier system to hand him a flawless, overpowered life on a silver platter just like every other generic main character. He was ready to claim the title of the absolute strongest. But reality. It hit him like a freight train. His luck was absolute garbage. Forget becoming a low-level cultivator. He couldn't manifest a single ounce of energy, turning him into the ultimate laughingstock of the entire realm. Desperate for some peace and quiet, he retreated to a sleepy village nestled right outside a major sect. Now he just runs a humble corner store and tutors the local brats. But here is the crazy twist. Absolutely nobody realizes that his dusty little shop rivals a legendary, top-tier spiritual sanctuary. Oh, and he keeps a pet dog. To the naked eye, it is just a scruffy mutt. But beneath that goofy exterior lurks a terrifying, world-ending demon king, a beast packing enough raw firepower to wipe humanity off the map. Meanwhile, Yi Chen is fully convinced he is just a useless weakling, completely oblivious to the fact that almighty immortals are literally. Even the highest-ranking cultivators worship the ground he walks on, treating him like an untouchable god. So grab your popcorn because things are about to get wild. Right out of the gate, we are tossed into a ruthless dimension, swarming with immortal beings, savage mythical beasts, and bloodthirsty demon lords. In this brutal hierarchy, achieving immortality means you hold all the cards. You get to bend the rules of reality and live completely unbound, answering to absolutely no one. The camera cuts to the quiet streets of Yuantown. Yi Chen sighs. The name is Yi Chen, and let me tell you, my life right now, it is a total dumpster fire. This whole mess kicked off exactly 5 years back. A flashback rolls, showing a confused Yi Chen looking around. Whoa, did I just— Hey, no sweat, a cheat system should pop up any second now. I'll become a god-tier fighter, build my own harem, and live the dream. I mean, that is the standard protocol for these worlds, right? Come on, magic system. Daddy needs his upgrades. Show yourself. Hours ticked by. Crickets. Zero system notifications. He swallowed his panic. Okay, fine. No system. Just hand over a mythical sword or a legendary ghost grave. Literally anything will do. But the universe gave him a big fat nothing. Tears streaming down his face, he screamed, "Somebody, please!" Eventually, he stumbled his way into a bustling city, right as a wizened elder was scanning the crowd for magical talent. The old man barked out, "Step right up and discover your destiny. Place your hand here to measure your spiritual root. Let us see if you have what it takes to ascend to greatness." Yi Chen's eyes lit up like fireworks. This is it. He slammed his palm onto the glowing crystal sphere. The elder's jaw practically unhinged at the reading. Smirking with absolute confidence, Yi Chen boasted. The elder blinked, completely baffled. "Kid, in all my years I have never seen a mortal with zero spiritual energy. You literally have nothing." Yi Chen froze his soul, leaving his body. The crowd immediately erupted into cruel laughter. What kind of defective trash has zero talent? I have never seen such a pathetic loser in my life. Swallowing his pride, he dragged himself to every major sect, begging for a spot, only to get the door slammed in his face. Get lost. We don't run a charity for useless garbage. Every single application ended in total rejection. Out of options, and desperate to avoid starving, he retreated to Yuantown and He embraced the quiet, mundane life, spending his days schooling the neighborhood toddlers, using basic common sense from modern Earth. Things finally settled down. The shop brought in just enough cash to keep him fed and cozy. Leaning back in his chair, Yi Chen mused, "Ever since I actually snagged a slice of tranquility. Plus, whether it is slapping paint on a canvas, mastering calligraphy, or dominating at chess, I guess my true calling was just being—" But seriously, who cares? In this savage reality, martial power is the only currency that matters. Without spiritual strength, some random monster could rip me to shreds tomorrow. Pretty paintings won't save my life. Suddenly, his daydreaming bubble burst as a chorus of high-pitched voices chimed in. "Look, teacher, Yi Chen is spacing out again." Snapping back to reality, he clapped his hands. "All right, pipe down, you little menaces. Today's lesson is pure economics. We are learning how to maximize profit." The kids rolled their eyes, completely blowing him off. "Who cares about dead pigs? Real-life immortals are flying into our city today." One boy puffed out his chest. "My mom swore I am going to grow up to be—" Reading boring books won't stop a demon from eating us. We need to learn how to shoot fire from our... One of the braver kids tilted his head and asked, "Hey teacher, if it's so awesome, why aren't you an immortal yet?" A vein popped on Yi-Chen's forehead. These little brats. Are they seriously roasting me to my face right now? Oblivious to his silent rage, the children smiled. Once we unlock our magical powers and become super strong, we will totally be your bodyguards. Since you know, you were... Yi-Chen let out a long, heavy sigh. I guess they mean well. They haven't even awakened their powers, and they are already planning to watch my back. Out of nowhere, a kid pointed out the window and shrieked, "Heck yeah, class is officially canceled. The flying immortals are here." The entire classroom erupted into chaos as the kids stampeded out the door in a frenzy. The camera pans up to the sky, revealing a breathtaking Leading the pack was the stunning Jia, the absolute top-ranking prodigy of the legendary Yuan's, flanked by a whole squad of intimidating high-level. The entire village bows in deep reverence, welcoming their other world. Kia's voice cuts through the silence. "Commence the disciple trials." Hearing her command, a fellow cultivator projects his voice to the crowd. All hopefuls queue up. State your identity, then press your palm against the evaluation sphere. Stepping out from the nervous throng, a mother nudges her young son forward. "I am Li Gao," she stammers, "and this is my boy." Off to the side, one of the sect members rolls his eyes, utterly convinced this trip is a massive waste of time. Same story every single year, he scoffs internally. Just another batch of talentless dirt scratchers. Taking a deep breath, the mother reveals, "My son is named Li Chun." That specific name hits Kia like a physical blow. Her eyes snap wide open. Catching the stunned expression, the nervous mother... Is his name cursed? Regaining her composure, Kia shakes her head. No, not in the slightest. In fact, relief washes over the mother's face as she beams. Well, naturally, the Honorable Mr. Yi-Chen bestowed that title upon him. He is the absolute smartest man in our province. Kia's mind starts racing. Unbelievable. A peerless expert is actually living incognito in this remote backwater. To bless a mortal child with such profound karmic resonance. Brushing past the revelation, the grumpy immortal barks at the boy. Step up. Press your palm against... Chun Feng shuffles closer and nervously taps the glass surface. Instantly, a blinding, radiant golden shockwave erupts from the sphere, swallowing the entire plaza. Kia throws her arms up, completely bewildered. What on earth is happening? That aura. What is that? Jaw practically hitting the floor, the sect member gasps. Senior sister, he possesses a sovereign gold spiritual core. That is a supremely flawless, pure metallic aptitude. A female disciple lingering nearby freezes in her tracks. That borders on myth. You can count the number of cultivators with that potential on one hand. Down on the platform, Chun Feng puffs out his tiny chest, grinning from ear to ear. Nailed it. I am absolutely born to rule the martial world. Though, forcing her voice to stay steady, Kia declares, keep the line moving. If there is one prodigy here, the heavens might have blessed us with another. The remaining village kids eagerly rush the pedestal, shouting their introductions. I am Li Qianjiao. The name is Feng Zhongyan. I go by Wu Shui, and I am Zhang An. Frantically scribbling down the details, the records keeper starts hyperventilating. What kind of insane anomaly is this? Every single title drips with divine destiny. They are practically vibrating with untamed cosmic energy. Unable to hold back, Kia demands, "Who on earth christened all of you?" In perfect ringing unison, the toddlers cheer our glorious tutor, Master Yi-Chen. He schools us every single... Across the sun-baked square, Yi-Chen is quietly observing the absolute chaos from the shadows of his storefront. Squinting at the lingering, brilliant flashes, he gulps hard. Holy crap, that is supreme golden energy. You only see fireworks like that from once-in-a-generation prodigies. A cold sweat suddenly breaks out on his forehead as a cringeworthy memory surfaces. He had explicitly lectured the townsfolk that He paces behind his counter, whispering, if those little rascals actually ascend into the immortal ranks, my reputation is completely toast. I'll be Back at the plaza, the bewildered sect members finally wrap up the most mind-bending recruit. Yuki practically skips down the cobblestone path, bursting with joy. This village is phenomenal. Seriously, the street snacks alone are to die for. Detouring to Yuan Town was the best. We practically harvested a whole crop of peerless prodigies in a single afternoon. Kia nods slowly, her gaze sweeping the horizon. I am a stranger to these parts, yet the very air hums with profound mystical currents. There is undeniably a hidden hand shaping the fate of this valley. Suddenly distracted Yuki points excitedly at a merchant stall. Oh my goodness, senior sister, check out these hair ornaments. The craftsmanship is exquisite. Can we peek inside? Following her junior's finger, Kia's gaze locks onto Yi-Chen's humble establishment. She tilts her head. Is that merely a mundane general store? But the moment her eyes brush against the wooden marquee, she is paralyzed. Her breath hitches. Those calligraphy strokes. They are dripping with terrifying. It feels as though a heaven-slaying blade has been magically locked inside the ink. Just tracing the letters is forcefully elevating my spiritual core. Within seconds, a massive shockwave of energy explodes from her body, shattering her bottlenecks. Startled by the blast, Yuki stumbles back. Senior sister, what in the world was that? Talk to me, you're scaring me. A serene, incredibly confident smile spreads across Kia's face. Little sister, I just shattered the barrier. I am now a 6th tier Yuan Sword Master. Are you out of your mind? You literally just stabilized the 5th tier a couple of days ago. The Patriarch swore it would take you 70 straight years of isolated meditation to advance. And you bypassed all that in less than 7 days. Kia stares blankly at her own hands. A mere glance at that mortal storefront's carving shoved my enlightenment into overdrive, triggering a divine. The entity who brushed those characters has to be a god walking among men. Completely oblivious to the danger, Yuki eagerly drags her senior toward the... Come on, let's explore. This joint gives off major secret treasure vibes. Stepping over the threshold, they immediately lock eyes. Flashing a polite customer service smile, Yi-Chen calls out, "Welcome to the Emporium, ladies." Kia's internal alarm starts screaming. He carries the imposing aura of an ancient deity, yet my spiritual senses read him as completely... Is he genuinely just a flesh and blood mortal? On the other side of the counter, Yi-Chen is doing his own mental math. Look at that premium silk and arrogant swagger. Jackpot. Rumor has it these immortal cultivators are absolutely loaded, dropping massive piles of cash without blinking. Today's my lucky day. I'm about to make an absolute killing, he whispered, practically vibrating with excitement. Flashing a welcoming smile, he announced, "Every single item here is top tier and totally affordable. You're gonna love it." As the girls wandered the aisles, Kia's gaze locked onto a solitary scroll painting. The instant her eyes met the canvas, a monstrous wave of pressure slammed into her. She panicked. What is this suffocating aura? Even my own immortal blade is trembling. Just what exactly is this masterpiece? The sheer sword intent pouring out of it is absolutely godlike. A fierce surge of raw power violently coursed through her veins. It's flooding every inch of my body. My meridians are completely expanding. This power, it's pushing me to the absolute limit. Gasping for air, she suddenly shrieked. I just broke through. I actually hit the 7th tier of the Yuan sword realm. Snatching Yi-Chen's wrist, her eyes burned with frantic curiosity. Please, you have to tell me. Who painted this divine masterpiece? And whose calligraphy is this? Yi-Chen smirked inwardly. Bingo. This chick is totally obsessed with my artwork. Oh yeah, I am about to cash in big time. Puffing out his chest, he bragged. That would be me. I brushed the strokes, and I penned the poem. The whole package is 100% my original work. In fact, I actually painted it as a self-portrait. Kia's jaw practically hit the floor. She thought, this is sheer insanity. The ambient force radiating off this scroll is completely out of this world. A normal cultivator would be crushed instantly just standing near it. Meanwhile, Yi-Chen tilted his head at their frozen expressions. What's with the faces? Not a fan of my style? He scratched the back of his neck, completely. Man, these magic users are definitely missing a few screws. Stepping closer, Yuki bluntly chimed in, well, the technique is pretty solid, but honestly, I would have never guessed it was supposed to be you. You're nowhere near this handsome in real life, buddy. Hearing this, Yi-Chen dramatically clutched his chest, practically coughing up blood from the emotional damage. Kia instantly whirled around, fiercely scolding her junior. Silence! You are utterly blind to the true essence hidden within those strokes. If you could even fathom a fraction of its depth, you'd swallow those foolish words. Trembling, Kia stole another glance at the shopkeeper. She thought, this supreme expert looks so incredibly young, yet his composure is terrible. Yuki practically insulted him to his face, yet he barely even blinked. If a mere doodle casually tossed aside radiates such catastrophic power, just how unfathomable is his actual strength? Suddenly, a chilling realization struck her like lightning. Hold on. I can't sense a single drop of spiritual energy radiating off of him. There's only one logical explanation. His realm is light years beyond my own. He is standing at a summit so impossibly high, a lowly ant like me can't even He must be intentionally masking his aura. He's deliberately disguising his monstrous capabilities from the mortal world. Why else would an all-powerful deity be playing shopkeeper in some rundown grocery store? And how else could a single glance at his artwork force me to instantly level up? This senior is a walking, breathing legend. Bowing her head in absolute reverence, Kia formally announced, I am Lukia, an inner disciple hailing from the Yuanjian Holy Land. It is the greatest honor of my life to stand in your presence, senior. Yi Chen awkwardly waved his hands. Whoa, hold up, I'm just a regular everyday mortal. Having a gorgeous fairy like you call me senior feels totally weird. But in his head he scoffed. Smooth talk isn't going to work on me, lady. No matter how much you flatter me. Kia's mind raced wildly. He possesses world-shattering strength, so why is he stubbornly clinging to this mortal disguise? Oh, I get it, his mastery has peaked, so every single word he speaks is layered with profound meaning. If I slip up and expose his little game, he could erase me from existence with a flick of his finger. I absolutely cannot afford to piss him off. Meanwhile, Yi Chen's eyes narrowed suspiciously. She's been kissing up to me the second she walked in. Is she trying to finesse a freebie out of me? Hell no, not on my watch. My business will go bankrupt if I start handing out free stuff across the room. Kia was practically sweating bullets under the suffocating tension. His silent presence is so heavy I'm literally too terrified. One wrong move, and I'm dead meat. Swallowing her fear, she spoke with utmost politeness. I have studied the arts of ink and calligraphy since I was a child. Gazing upon your divine strokes, I thank you for bestowing such profound enlightenment upon me, senior. Yi Chen let out a silent sigh of relief. Ah, so that's why. Look, my martial arts talent might be absolute garbage, but when it comes to holding a paintbrush, there's literally no one better. Years of grinding have turned me into a master artist. This chick is definitely just an art nerd. Beaming with pride, he gestured widely. Hey, feel free to explore the rest of the I don't just deal in fine arts. We've got everyday essentials, and honestly, the snacks I sell are totally mouth-watering. Ignoring the tension, Yuki confidently strutted forward and blurted out, What's the deal with this planter? That withered sprout is totally dead. Yi Chen immediately corrected her. You've got it all wrong. That is a miniature jade bonsai. Grabbing a dusty jar, Yuki piped up, And those shriveled berries look completely ruined. Yi Chen sighed. Those aren't berries, they're pickled vegetables. You pair them with dinner, and trust me, the flavor is incredible. Wandering deeper into the store, the duo halted before a striking sculpture. Yuki tilted her head. What is this figure supposed to be? The lady is entirely naked and missing both her arms. What kind of statement is that? Yi Chen calmly elaborated. This carving embodies the absolute peak of feminine beauty in our world. However, absolute perfection simply does not exist. It stands as a testament to beautiful flaws. Kia's eyes widened in realization. It might appear ordinary initially, but the philosophical depth here is staggering. It celebrates blemishes. No matter how breathtaking a person might be, they harbor inherent defects, just like her absent limbs. This supreme being's comprehension of the universe exists on an entirely different plane. The girls kept browsing the cluttered boutique. Kia breathed out reverently. Every single artifact in this room is a flawless masterpiece. Yi Chen groaned internally. What is up with these window shoppers? I figured legendary cultivators were loaded. But they've just been interrogating me non-stop. They haven't dropped a single dime. Are these girls actually planning to purchase something, or are they just here to drain my sanity? Out of nowhere, Yuki snatched up a delicate hair stick. Oh, I absolutely adore this piece. What's the price tag? Yi Chen held up his fingers and stated firmly, I'll take 3. He prayed silently. I sweated bullets crafting that trinket, or even 3 spiritual gems. I would happily pocket either one. Finally, I am actually about to score some real cash. Kia, meanwhile, panicked internally. This senior is unfathomably mighty, and intentionally hides his godly aura. An entity of his caliber possesses zero desire for worldly wealth. When he demands 3, He definitely means 3 humble copper pennies. Confident in her brilliant deduction, she quickly stepped up and gently dropped 3 rusty coppers into his palm. Yi Chen stood utterly paralyzed. Are you kidding me? Why did these cheapskates even cross my threshold? I was banking on cold hard silver, and they slapped 3 worthless pennies into my hand. Even a broke peasant would have coughed up better cash. I just took a massive financial hit, and I cannot even reject the payment because these women hurl magic for a living. Pocketing the pathetic change, his heart sank into his boots. God, I just want to toss them out on the street. These absolute freeloaders are pushing me to the brink. Kia conversely wiped invisible sweat from her brow. Thank the heavens I intercepted that transaction. Otherwise, my foolish junior might have offered flashy spiritual gems, which would have deeply insulted his ascetic lifestyle. If we provoked this hidden titan's fury, he would erase us from existence in a heartbeat. Yi Chen fumed behind a forced smile. They hoard mountains of treasure, yet they scrimp on pennies and essentially mug honest merchants through pure intimidation. Kia gracefully bowed her head. Esteemed senior, I would profoundly love to acquire this landscape canvas as well. Yi Chen cried on the inside. My artwork is a freaking masterpiece. And what is my reward? 3 measly coppers? She is blatantly lowballing me for my best inventory. I desperately need her to leave. Swallowing his grief, he reluctantly slid the parchment across the counter. Kia secretly celebrated. Judging by his stoic, unbothered features, the senior is actually incredibly fond of us. This is a monumental opportunity. She spoke softly. Sir, would it be acceptable to return to your sanctuary later? I yearn to seek your wisdom regarding brushwork and illustration. These artistic disciplines fascinate me deeply. Her mind raced with ambition. From a deity like him, my cultivation base will skyrocket. Yi Chen forced a polite nod. Sure, drop by whenever. My establishment always welcomes patrons. Meanwhile, his internal monologue screamed, if you cheapskates keep coming back, I am going to be begging in the gutters. Do us both a favor and lose my address. Finally, the cultivator duo exited the cursed storefront. Yuki turned, utterly confused. Why are you beaming like that? You've been practically glowing ever since we walked out. Kia exhaled a trembling breath. I just shattered my bottleneck. I have instantly advanced to the 7th realm. Yuki's jaw hit the floor. Are you messing with me? Our sect leader explicitly stated it requires roughly 70 years of brutal meditation just to crawl from stage 5 to 6. And a solid 2 centuries to even peak at the 7th tier. Yet you conquered it in an afternoon. How on earth did that happen? Did that random merchant do this? Kia's eyes flashed with fierce devotion. Watch your mouth when you refer to the Supreme Senior. That guy is far from ordinary. He's an absolute powerhouse. Coming face to face with him today, I'm absolutely convinced he's a transcendent master. He even granted me a massive favor. Whether this unexpected gift brings boundless luck or utter ruin, only time will tell. Beings of his caliber move entirely to their own rhythm. We'd better head back now. We've scooped up quite a few promising prodigies today anyway. We've got to escort them back to the Holy Land immediately, so they can face the upcoming trials. As for this hidden expert, I'll have to tread very carefully before breathing a word about him. Meanwhile, Yi Chen was busy grumbling under his breath. Those so-called disciples from the Holy Land just barged into my shop and basically fleeced me dry. Since I don't have a lick of cultivation, I just had to stand there and take it. Seriously, how much longer am I supposed to survive in this brutal world? When will these arrogant immortals stop treating me like dirt? Man, I despise this. A little while later, Yi Chen dragged himself. The host instantly beamed, Mr. Yi, welcome back. Should I fire up the usual order for you? Yi Chen sighed. I barely scraped together any coin today, so just hit me with 2 cheap sides and a jug of wine. Anything more and I'll be in the red. Right on cue, the tavern owner bustled over, beaming. Mr. Yi, I can't thank you enough. Thanks to your brilliance, the Bee family is over the moon right now. Yi Chen raised an eyebrow. You're certainly in high spirits today. Did they actually sweep Alan off to the Holy Land? The owner chuckled warmly. Oh, it wasn't just Alan. Every single kid from our little town got picked. Our humble village is destined for greatness, now that they've all embarked on the path of cultivation. The immortal maiden who visited couldn't stop raving about the kids, especially their unique names. Honestly, the envoys from the Holy Land were completely blown away. They practically begged to know who came up with such brilliant titles. Yi Chen puffed out his chest. Well, naturally, I handpicked every single one of them. Every single name is packed with immense fortune. And with the right luck, the sky's the limit, the owner grinned. You might lack a spiritual root, my friend, but your worldly wisdom is absolutely unmatched. You're a true hidden master. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes inward. Wait, is he flattering me or taking a dig at me? Still, he kept his cool and nodded. I appreciate. The owner turned to his staff. This spread looks way too pitiful. Toss a roasted chicken leg on his plate. Spotting the extra meat, Yi Chen's eyes lit up. Heck yes, I finally get to sink my teeth into some real meat. But the second he opened his mouth, a sudden blur snatched the prize right out of his hand. A scruffy black hound stood right in front of him, happily gnawing on the stolen treat. Yi Chen's jaw dropped. Black Emperor. Is that? The surrounding patrons gasped. Whoa, that's Black Emperor. Isn't that Mr. Yi's mutt that vanished a whole year ago? He actually came back. Yi Chen smiled softly. Well, look at that. You finally found your way home, but his mind drifted back to 2 years ago, when he stumbled upon a shivering, rain-soaked puppy stranded in the mud. Clueless about its breed, he took the poor thing in and nursed it back to health. But oddly enough, the picky furball always turned its nose up at his cooking. Then out of nowhere the dog just bolted. Yi Chen figured some wild beast had made a snack out of him, and eventually gave up the search. Yet here he was, waltzing back after an entire year. Glancing down, Yi Chen realized his boot was drenched in drool, from the dog frantically licking his leg. He groaned. Seriously, Black Emperor, I guess your breed is just a certified drool machine. Ignoring the insult, the hound happily trotted inside, and parked itself directly in front of an old painting. Yi Chen shook his head. This mutt is so weird. Even back in the day, he used to zone out staring at that exact same canvas. And the second he returns, he goes right back to his old habits. Sure, he's packed on some muscle, but he's still a massive coward. He used to shake like a leaf just glancing at that artwork, and look at him. He's literally shivering right now. Yi Chen yawned loudly. Whatever, I'm crashing for the night. Your old kennel is exactly where you left it. Go crash out there. And for the love of God, stop creeping on that painting in broad daylight. If you pee yourself out of fear again, I'm not cleaning up your mess. The moment Yi Chen disappeared into his room, Black Emperor's physical form began to warp and twist. Reverting to his terrifying true state, the demonic beast thought I truly believed I'd never make it. I made a catastrophic blunder, listening to that manipulative fox and abandoning this place for 12 whole months. Had I just stayed put, my cultivation would have skyrocketed to unimaginable heights, and I never would have endured such brutal torment. I will never forgive that despicable red flame demon. The coward knew he couldn't beat me in a fair fight, so he rallied a whole squad of demon kings to jump me. I was forced to unleash my true monstrous form just to escape with my life. But if I can just cultivate my master's side for a few more days, my power will explode. I'll become so invincible that absolutely no one in this realm will dare cross my path. But suddenly, the courtyard gate slowly creaked open. Black Emperor's ears instantly pinned back. What's going on? Did those bastard demon kings actually track me down? Are they launching an ambush right now? But in the blink of an eye, the tension shattered, as Yi Chen casually strolled outside and plopped a bowl of food on the dirt. Still hungry after demolishing that drumstick. Look how massive you have gotten. Here, polish off these leftovers, then crash for the night. Hot tears instantly blurred the Black Emperor's vision. Master, you are entirely too good to me. Walking out on you was the biggest regret of my life. I swear on my very soul I am never leaving your side again. Back inside, hitting the mattress, Yi Chen pondered, I cannot even begin to imagine what the Black Emperor actually survived out. He sprouted up like a weed over the past year, but his core vibe, totally identical. He is still an absolute coward at heart. Mumbling to himself, Yi Chen added, I once sketched the Black Emperor, looking like a literal demon king. Honestly, if he actually possessed that kind of monstrous power, I would be living on Easy Street right now. I could ditch this exhausting daily grind of running the shop and stop scraping by. Meanwhile, wolfing down his food, the Black Emperor was deep in thought. With the master shielding me, absolutely zero demons would dare start beef around here. His aura is so suffocatingly intense, trespassers cannot even breach the front door. The sole reason I evolved into the mighty beast I am today is all thanks to that portrait. It forcefully ignited my dormant divine bloodline. That masterpiece radiates terrifying energy. Every single time I lock eyes with it, I can literally feel my ancient ancestors screaming at me to level up. It is like their very spirits are trapped within the canvas. The master's artistry exists on an entirely different plane of reality, totally beyond mortal understanding. A year ago, the master was flying solo, and he is still totally single today. I definitely need to hook him up with a spectacular present to cheer him up and cure his bachelor blues. Sparked by that idea, the Black Emperor stealthily slipped a special something right into his master's bedroom. Morning light broke through the window. Stretching awake, Chen muttered, "Man, I slept like a rock. But why does my mattress feel so incredibly cramped today?" Sliding his hand blindly across the sheets, he brushed against something ridiculously soft. Wait, this feels super weird. What is going on? Peeling his eyes open, his jaw hit the floor. A drop-dead gorgeous girl was snoozing right. Absolute panic gripped Chen. Where the heck did she crawl out from? Who even is this chick? Right on cue, the mystery girl casually. His mind raced. What in the world is she trying to pull? I am totally getting tangled up in a mess here. But hey, since destiny just dropped, maybe I should just roll with it. He gave her leg a gentle tap, instantly thinking, wow, this is unbelievably smooth. I must be dreaming. The girl abruptly stirred, groaning out loud. Ugh, why does it feel like somebody just smacked me? This stunning intruder was none other than Princess Yan. Blinking away the sleep, she locked eyes with Chen and violently recoiled. Offering a shaky smile, Chen blurted, morning. How are you doing? But without missing a beat, Princess Yan, you absolute creep, get your filthy hands off me. How did you sneak in here? This is my private bedchamber. Do you have any idea who you are messing with? Guards, restrain this degenerate right now. Rubbing his stinging cheek, Chen fired back. Lady, what on earth are you raving about, number one? There is zero security detail in this. Number two, you are not in your fancy mansion. This is my place and you are the one crashing on my mattress. I did not break into your territory. You trespassed into mine. For all I know, you are some kind of burglar. Boiling with absolute rage, Princess Yan shrieked. This psycho has completely lost his mind. Someone drag him out. Lurking right outside the door, the Black Emperor eavesdropped, mentally cheering. Oh yeah, the master is definitely. I better not kill his vibe. But suddenly the door blasted open as Princess Yan delivered a brutal kick, launching Chen straight into the courtyard. Puffing out his chest with sheer pride, the Black Emperor thought, I really hope the master appreciates my hustle. I handpicked the most premium. Hitting the dirt, Chen groaned in utter confusion. Seriously, where did this crazy chick even spawn from? Spotting his dog, how did you let a stranger slip right past you? What is the point of having a guard dog if literally anyone can just waltz through the front door? The Black Emperor shot him an innocent look, thinking, Master, you completely misunderstand. She did not break in. I personally abducted her for you. Meanwhile, brushing herself off, Princess Yan analyzed. This makes zero sense. I passed out in my own heavily fortified estate, yet I woke up in this dump. And that creep I just beat up, he is painfully weak. He could not even dodge a basic slap or block my kick. However, whoever managed to kidnap me has to be terrifyingly powerful. My family's estate is locked down tighter than a fortress. Only a transcendent martial master could breach those defenses undetected. I need to play it cool and study this guy. If he tries anything funny, I will show zero mercy. I will order my father to shred him into absolute confetti. Strutting arrogantly into the open courtyard, she demanded, Hey peasant, get over here. Met with pure silence. She raised her voice, Are you deaf? I gave you a direct order. But ignoring her completely, Chen was deeply focused, casually moving. Princess Yan scoffed in disbelief. This loser is unbelievable. He is posturing over a chessboard like some enlightened sage. Even legendary scholars get massive headaches deciphering this exact game. What kind of stunt is he trying to pull? Furious, she lunged forward to flip the entire table over. But midair, her wrist violently locked up. Her eyes darted down to the wooden grid, and absolute shock paralyzed her. What on earth is this? The simple chessboard had trapping the energy of an entire living universe. She felt her very consciousness being dragged into the abyss. I'm paralyzed. My mind is completely caged inside this board. If nobody pulls me out, I'm gonna die just trying to understand this. My skull feels like it's about to split open. Meanwhile, in the real world, Chen just blankly stared, thinking, why is this chick tweaking out? Is she having a stroke? What's with that weird face? Did she eat something rotten? Honestly, I make that exact same face when I've got killer stomach cramps. Off to the side, the Black Emperor narrowed his eyes. Master's chessboard is no mortal pastime. It radiates more raw power than any divine artifact in existence. It holds infinite layered arrays and lethal invisible traps. This mortal girl is way too fragile. She's barely scraped the foundation establishment stage. It's a total miracle she can even perceive the pieces. Even supreme grandmasters would be completely obliterated by this pressure. If I don't intervene right now, she's a goner. Without missing a beat, the Black Emperor tore through the illusionary realm and dove straight into the terrifying array. He barked furiously, "Snap out of it, kid. Wake up or you're dead meat." Jolted by the roar, Princess Yan thought in pure pain, that shadowy hound. It actually came to rescue me. What is going on? Why am I plummeting? My limbs won't listen to me. The Black Emperor quickly realized her cultivation base was pitifully low. If she plunged any deeper into this void, her very soul would be shredded to dust. I need to pull her out right now. As the beast lunged forward to grab her, the free-falling Princess Yan stared at Ye Chen in awe. This guy, he has to be an unfathomable god. Even standing on death's door, I feel incredibly tranquil, as if I've simply melted into his universe. Back in reality, the camera pans to Ye Chen casually shifting a pawn. He muttered, "Man, I was completely stuck on this puzzle for ages, but I finally figured out the winning move. Gotta hand it to myself, that was a pretty slick play." Right next to him, Princess Yan had collapsed heavily onto her knees, gasping for air. Trembling, she thought. My spirit literally got ripped out of my flesh just now. I stared into the face of absolute cosmic dominance. I looked death right in the eyes. If that shadowy hound hadn't bailed me out, I would have been swallowed by that board forever. My mind and physical vessel would have been violently crushed. No mortal entity could ever survive that. If a mere dog could break through that, it has to be a legendary demon king. And if this guy keeps a literal demon king around as a house pet, just how monstrously powerful is he? Why on earth is an almighty deity hiding out in this pathetic rundown village? I have to stick around and uncover his true identity. At that exact moment, the Black Emperor scoffed internally. Kid, you just won the lottery by walking out of there alive. Surviving the Master's supreme domain is not a luxury afforded to just anyone. Oblivious to all this, Ye Chen turned and asked, "Are you holding up okay? You were pulling some incredibly freaky faces a second ago." Still reeling, Princess? Yan thought. After witnessing his gameplay, one thing is absolutely crystal clear. He wields an overwhelming authority that can effortlessly dictate life and death. Mortality is a joke to him. He holds the universe in the palm of his hand. A terrifying demon king is nothing but a cuddly Is it possible that he is the mythical ancient sovereign spoken of in the Forbidden Scrolls? Then a horrifying realization hit her like a truck. Hold on, I kicked him. I literally slapped an omnipotent god and tossed him right out of his own bed. I messed up. I messed up so badly. Please, please don't erase me from existence. Breaking the silence, Ye Chen casually offered, "You know, you seem pretty fascinated. I've been playing by myself for way too long, and it's getting super dull. Want to sit down and play around with me?" Princess Yan gulped. The sacred archives mention that these supreme entities always have incredibly eccentric, unpredictable moods. I completely disrespected him earlier, and I barely crawled out of that array alive. I need to grovel right now. Maybe he'll show me some mercy. Bowing her head frantically, she blurted out, "Senior, please pardon my ignorance. I absolutely do not have the qualifications to sit across from you." Ye Chen waved his hand dismissively. "Hey, relax with all the formalities. I'm just bored out of my mind, so I knock wooden pieces around to kill time. I guess I got pretty decent at it over the years. Look, if you ever run into a tough spot and need a hand, just give me a shout." But internally he was scratching his head. Why does she keep calling me senior? I'm barely in my 20s. On the flip side, Princess Yan was having a total mental breakdown. He claims he has nothing to do. That secretly means his cultivation has already shattered the heavenly ceiling. He must have broken through to a realm where literally nothing can challenge him anymore. Snapping her out of it, Ye Chen asked, "By the way, I didn't catch your name. Where are you visiting from?" Sweating bullets, she answered carefully, "I am Yen Beiyan. I hail from the capital city of the Yen Empire. I definitely shouldn't drop my royal title right now," she reasoned internally. "I have zero clue what this walking calamity is capable of. If I expose my bloodline, I might accidentally get my entire dynasty wiped out. Inspecting her, Yi Chen noted, "Well, looking at that fancy silk you're wearing, you've clearly got some deep pockets. Are you in the cultivation game too? You've definitely got that spiritual vibe going on." She nodded respectfully. "Yes, my family retains a few masters who guide our training." Ye Chen's eyes widened. A few masters? Her family must be ridiculously loaded. A regular guy can't even afford a single tutor, and she's just casually hoarding a whole team of them. Shaking off her nerves, Princess Yan finally took a seat across the board. The moment she placed her stone, Ye Chen leaned in with a smirk. "So, Miss Yan, how exactly do you plan on rescuing that trapped black piece?" "That piece is totally cornered." Princess Yan's eyes widened. He was dead right. The black stone had no way out. Before she could blink, her mind was violently yanked into another dimension. "What in the world is going on?" she panicked. It felt exactly like plummeting straight down a bottomless black hole. Yet weirdly enough, it felt incredibly soothing. The previous aura had been absolutely hostile, now pure serenity. It was like an invisible hand gently— "Hold on," she gasped inwardly. "My cultivation is surging. I just broke through again." Snapping back to the real world, Ye Chen waved a hand. "Miss Yen, spacing out on me again." She jolted awake. "You keep getting lost in your own head," he muttered. Man, these cultivators are absolute weirdos, he thought. First that chick practically fainted over my painting, and now this one is completely paralyzed by a simple game of chess. Brushing off his robes, Ye Chen stood up. "Oh, this I just mess around with it to kill time. It's literally just a basic board game." Just as she leaned in for another peek at the mystical board, the Black Emperor shoved his way right into her line of— "Girl, are you out of your mind?" the dog thought fiercely. "Yeah, I know. Staring at the master's moves is skyrocketing your cultivation. But if your mind gets sucked back into that chaotic void, I won't be able to drag you out this time." But the princess bit her lip, completely obsessed. "Just one more glance. I need to shatter my limits again." Meanwhile, high up in the Holy Land, a massive council of elders packed the central peak. "Scrap that dump from our registries," one elder scoffed. "It's an absolute dead end." Stepping from the shadows, Great Elder Jiao raised a calming hand. "Junior brother Yan Zhang, cool your temper." But Yan Zhang, a fiery peak master, slammed his fist down. "This is completely rigged. My faction gets starved of pure talent because you toss us the absolute trash territories. We're literally scraping the bottom of barren wasteland. Thanks to this garbage system, the 7th peak is rotting away, and our combat power has totally tanked." Another master smirked, waving a hand dismissively. "Oh, spare us the drama. Some of the most legendary warriors in history crawled out of those exact gutters. Hell, half our founding fathers hailed from Yuan Town." A third elder chimed in, glaring coldly. "The territory isn't the problem, Yanzhang. It's you. Your students are pathetic because you are weak. Your own cultivation hasn't ticked up a single notch in years. And your peak is reflecting that. You've been rotting in the exact same bottleneck for ages, going absolute." Yang Zhang's face flushed purple with rage. "You two arrogant bastards, I've busted my back managing this sect's endless paperwork for 2.5 freaking years. How am I supposed to level up when I'm drowning in busy work?" The great elder didn't flinch, his voice smooth like glass. "Junior brother, we walk the sacred path of the Buddha here. Spewing such vulgar trash is entirely beneath us." Yang Zhang gritted his teeth, practically vibrating with fury. But right as the tension peaked, a shadow crossed the grand entryway. The council turned. "Ah, looks like the fresh blood is finally here. Let's see if there's actual potential this time around." Moments later, a hotshot kid named Chang Ming swaggered inside. Bowing with absolute swagger, he grinned. "And just so we're clear, my spiritual roots are top tier, leagues above the rest of this mob." Yang Zhang furrowed his brows, clearly annoyed. "You've already got your badge, kid. Why are you bragging to us?" Another elder sighed heavily. "Cut the ego trip and read the report. We already ran your background check." Chang Ming nodded, completely unbothered. "Right. This season, our glorious Yuanjian Holy Land pulled in exactly 180 recruits. Out of the whole batch, exactly 100 are stuck with garbage-tier spiritual roots, namely Chengyan Dongfeng and Yami." A few elders lit up, nodding in approval. "Fantastic haul. Our numbers are looking seriously beefy this year." Elder Yanbo clapped his neighbor on the back. Brother you massive congrats. Looks like you scored a solid batch of disciples. Chang Ming didn't miss a beat. Moving on, we've got 72 kids rocking mid-tier spiritual roots, including Fang Yuyan Chen Sheng and Tong Mi. Elder Yanbo turned with a vicious smirk. Well, Elder Yanzhang, it looks like your peak got completely shut out again. Not a single low-tier or mid-tier recruit was tossed your way. Has Yuan Town really turned into such an absolute wasteland? The mocking tone was the final straw. Yanzhang snapped, yanking his blade. I'll level that entire miserable town to the ground. Our legendary ancestors were born on that dirt. How the hell is it only spitting out pure trash now? Before the blade could fully clear, Chang Ming kept speaking. One recruit boasts a top-tier spiritual core, while 7 others possess their latent power absolutely boundless. The elders freeze, jaws practically hitting the floor. Come again? What did you just say? Chang Ming doesn't miss a beat. I said 7 rookies harbor insanely rare spiritual roots, and every single one of them hails from Yuan Town. A dead silence drops over the hall. How in the world is that even remotely possible? Yuan Town is a literal wasteland for talent. For 3 straight centuries they scraped by with a single average-tier kid. Now, out of nowhere, 7 monstrous prodigies drop right into our... Yang Zhang flashes a wicked smirk. Oh, I see how it is. Back when I was stuck babysitting the utter trash, you old fools couldn't be happier. But the second I score a batch of god-tier recruits, suddenly it's an interrogation. The surrounding elders frantically wave their hands. Maybe the scouting division just botched the paperwork. Desperate for answers, they pivot toward the Great Elder. Sir, please shed some light on this madness. The Great Elder stares off into the distance, still violently processing the revelation. Taking a deep, shaky breath, he finally speaks up. Every single one of these elite-tier children initially carried bizarre birth names. However, once they entered schooling, their mysterious instructor rebranded them. And these new titles, they are completely out of this world. Each syllable literally drips with heaven-defying luck and terrifying hidden energy. The council goes completely numb. Hold on. Are you telling us some supreme entity literally altered their fate just by renaming them? They quickly scramble to read the roster out loud. Li Chunfeng, Wu Zhongjun, Zhang Hao. Every single moniker reverberates with profound destiny and raw aura. Suddenly, a collective realization slams into the elders. Whoever bestowed these titles isn't just some run-of-the-mill scholar. We are talking about a deity who has conquered the Tao of immortality to an unfathomable degree. Yang Zhang throws his head back, erupting into arrogant, this right here, this is pure, unadulterated divine intervention. My ancestors are practically carrying me to the top. But across the room, another elder narrows his eyes. His tone, I don't buy it. Something about this screams foul play. Right on cue, the Holy Master cuts through the tension. Consider the facts. These kids are all hovering around 5 years of age. That means a cataclysmic shift hit Yuan Town exactly 5 years back. He strokes his beard eyes, narrowing with intense speculation. This shadow puppeteer. They undoubtedly descended upon that village a half-decade ago. What if our sect's ancient founding patriarch has clawed his way back from the celestial realm to shepherd us? My mountain peak is finally going to dominate this entire sect. Not a single soul here can step on me ever again. A rival elder viciously cuts him off. Let's pump the brakes on the delusions. The Heavenly Ladder trial kicks off right now. That brutal gauntlet will strip away the hype and expose what they're really made of. Heads nod in grim agreement. Exactly. That staircase spits out nothing but think about it, an elder chimes in. Even our golden boy, Chang Ming, who rocks the absolute best spiritual foundation, spent a grueling 7 hours dragging himself to the summit. Chang Ming immediately clears his throat, chiming in. Respectfully, Master, it was exactly 6 hours and 30 minutes. A rival elder snorts, dripping with venom. Details. The point is, your precious recruits will crack under the pressure. Scaling that peak in under 6 hours is physically impossible. Yang Zhang flashes a cocky grin. Aw, does someone smell painfully jealous? Suddenly, the heavy bronze doors swing open. Kia strides in, trailing a squad of 7 bite-sized kids behind her. Dropping into a crisp bow, she announces, Disciple Kia pays respects to the council. I present to you the 7 fresh recruits. Instant scowls spread across the elders' faces. Kia, what is the meaning of this? Fresh blood has to conquer the pressure steps before setting foot in this hall? You're blatantly trampling sect law. This is outright cheating. Kia waves her hands in sheer panic. Masters, please just let me explain. These kids didn't even break a sweat. They practically skipped up the gravity steps. It was an absolute breeze to them. That legendary trial didn't even slow them down. A collective gasp rips through the room. Are you out of your mind? These are literal 5-year-old toddlers, and they casually strolled through our most brutal crucible. To them, our sacred gauntlet was a joke. These runts are absolute freaks of nature. The tiny prodigies bow in perfect unison. We humbly greet the supreme masters. The honor is entirely ours. Elder Yan drops to his knees, literal tears streaming down his face. You magnificent, flawless little monsters. It falls on us now. The entire hall erupts into a roaring frenzy. We've been the laughingstock of the martial world for we are carving our path straight to the top of the food chain. Elder Shao suddenly barks. Chunfeng, step forward. He firmly plants his palm on the kid's forehead, sending a pulse of energy to scan his core. The feedback instantly fries his brain. Holy, this is absolute madness. This freakish kid holds a raw, innate aura right alongside of... Kia tilted her head, her curiosity piqued. Master, she asked, what exactly is the difference between an innate and an acquired spiritual root? The elder stroked his beard, his voice heavy with ancient wisdom. When a legendary grandmaster ascends to the absolute pinnacle of their training, that is the innate root. It holds devastating energy, granting the wielder the ability to forge a personal domain, an impenetrable sanctuary that absolutely no one can shatter. But an acquired spiritual root, that is a phenomenal... Just as the name implies, this young boy alone holds this blessing. Across the entire world, not a single other breathing creature possesses a root quite like his. Gasps echoed through the hall as the elders sat completely, utterly stunned. Even 1,000 years ago, when the 5 divine sects united their banners and drained they still miserably failed to forge even a single root of this caliber. Leaning forward, the elder locked eyes with Chunfeng. Tell me, boy, exactly where did you train in Yuan Town? Chunfeng stood tall, his chest puffed with pride. We studied under the guidance of our master. A heavy silence dropped over the room as the masters exchanged bewildered glances. Then this mysterious senior must wield an unimaginable level of strength, one whispered. If merely brushing shoulders with him molded these kids into absolute monsters, just how godlike is the man himself? And to think, we actually wrote off Yuan Town as a pathetic... We were seconds away from completely blacklisting the place. Who in their right mind could have predicted that a slumbering dragon was hiding there? An elder slammed his fist on the table, his eyes practically glowing with feverish excitement. I have to meet this terrifying... Another chimed in, trembling with sheer anticipation. If I could just lay my eyes on him once, I would happily drop dead on the spot without a single shred of regret. Kia bit her lip, her mind racing. I always sensed the senior was completely out of our league, but hearing the holy lords themselves say this, just what kind of unfathomable realm? Snapping everyone back to reality, Elder Yanzong barked a firm order. Escort these kids back to the inner sanctuary and let them recover. The rest of you fall in. We are marching straight to the highest peak. Hours later, high atop the misty summit, Elder Yanjan narrowed his eyes at Kia. I do not even need to test you to feel it. Your spiritual aura is practically overflowing. Kia bowed respectfully, a confident spark in her eyes. Master, there is something you need to know. I have successfully mastered the 7th tier of the Yuan Sword Sutra. Yan Jan's jaw practically hit the floor. The 7th tier? Are you insane? You just scraped past the 5th tier a mere week ago. How in the world did you leapfrog 2 entire stages practically overnight? Kia held up her hands, trying to calm the frantic old man. Let me explain everything. Yan Jiang grabbed her shoulders, his voice shaking. Wait, did you encounter the legendary senior in Yuan Town? Did he bestow his guidance upon you? Kia, I stumbled blindly into the private courtyard where he resides. He gifted me a breathtaking piece of calligraphy, and the sheer energy radiating from the canvas propelled me through the brush strokes. They are dripping with an absolutely terrifying, heaven-slaying... Yang Jiang practically snatched the air. Show it to me, right now. But the very millisecond his eyes locked onto this suffocating pressure, I cannot even breathe against it. This is the aura of an absolute god. Meanwhile, miles away, in a dusty little shop, The god in question, Yi Chen, was lazily tapping a chess piece against a wooden board. Miss Yan was practically burning holes into the side of his head with her intense gaze. Finally losing his patience, Yi Chen sighed heavily. She did not even blink. Watching you command the chessboard is mesmerizing. So I am watching you. Is that an issue? Yi Chen rubbed his temples, his mind spinning. Seriously, what is her deal? Ever since she watched me play one measly game, she turned into my ultimate fangirl. She hovers over me constantly and treats me like absolute royalty. The very next dawn, Miss Yan chirped cheerfully the second he opened his eyes. Good morning, you are finally up, Yi Chen yawned, scratching his messy hair. For the rest of the daylight hours, the girl transformed into an unstoppable blur. Waving a hand, Yi Chen tried to stop her. Hey, you really do not have to break your back doing all this. She flashed a bright, energetic smile. I am not even breaking a sweat. Give me more chores to do. Yi Chen squinted. Okay, what is genuinely wrong with this girl? Is she some disguised succubus plotting to steal my soul? Or maybe she's just obsessed with my artwork and is trying to butter me up for a massive dip. Interrupting his paranoid thoughts, Miss Yan gently pushed a steaming cup toward him. Mr. Yi Chen, please hydrate yourself. A cocky smirk suddenly crept onto Yi Chen's face as the truth finally hit him. I completely get it now. I am simply way too good-looking. Well, it is tough being a heartthrob. Clearing his throat, he put on his smoothest voice. Miss Yan, why do we not hit the marketplace? I will whip up a mouth-watering braised pork dish just for you. It is a brand new recipe. A short walk later, they strolled into the bustling market district. Every passing vendor bowed their heads in deep reverence to Yi Chen. Miss Yan observed silently. The entire town practically worships the ground he walks on, yet he suppresses his monstrous aura completely. He genuinely chooses to embrace. Halting at a rundown vegetable stand, Yi Chen crossed his arms and scowled. Are you seriously demanding one entire silver coin for this wilted garbage? What did you water these cabbages with liquid gold? The grumpy merchant waved him off dismissively. Look, buddy, if you cannot afford it, then kick rocks. Stop holding up my Watching him get scolded, Miss Yan's admiration only grew. He possesses world-ending strength, yet he graciously allows a lowly merchant to insult. The burly butcher's face lit up instantly. Ah, Mr. Yi Chen, what cut of meat are we carving up for you today? Give me your best slab of pork belly. As the butcher enthusiastically wrapped the bloody meat in paper, he flashed a knowing wink. Say, is this lovely lady your new bride? You two make a picture Not paying attention, Yi Chen casually replied. Yep, thanks, man. Miss Yan blinked hard, her face flushing crimson as panic set in. Wait, did he just claim me as his wife? Whoa, back up, she's strictly a platonic friend staying over at my place. The butcher leaned against his bloody chopping block, a dirty smirk spreading across his face. Oh, because your next-door neighbor gossiped to the whole street about all the wild bumping noises echoing from your courtyard, especially when the sun goes down. What exactly are we supposed to imagine, Mr. Yi Chen? Tossing the wrapped meat over the counter, the butcher laughed. Whatever you are doing, just make sure you eat plenty of protein and guard your stamina. Do not drain yourself dry every night. Yi Chen just stood. Miss Yan, the folks here in Yuantown don't exactly sugarcoat things. They just blurt out whatever pops into their heads. Please brush it off. I know you hail from the prestigious capital, and you'll likely head back there before long. Miss Yan brushed a stray hair aside, her voice perfectly smooth. It's all right. I didn't take any offense. As they strolled down the dusty path, Yi Chen's mind was racing. She's high society capital royalty, and I'm just a powerless mortal. Hanging around her is a literal death wish. If her aristocratic family catches wind of this, they'll slice me into ribbons. I seriously need to back off. Meanwhile, Princess Yan was harboring a completely different fantasy. Strolling beside the senior is an absolute dream. I desperately hope the shopkeeper's little rumors actually come true. A pack of heavily scarred brutes smashed their way into the bustling market, roaring, "Get the hell out of the way!" A thug flared his nostrils, inhaling deeply. Boss, I caught the Black Emperor's scent. The rat is hiding inside that rundown shop. These weren't just random street thugs. They were terrifying. One of the monsters let out a dark, raspy chuckle. That treacherous Black Emperor isn't slipping away this time. Calling himself a king, yet he cowers in a pathetic little shack. When we bring his head back, the Red Demon King is going to shower us in riches. A second brute chimed in, licking his chops. He's already bleeding out from our last ambush. The pathetic mutt can't even shift back to his true form. This is going to be like taking candy from a baby, a very bloody, profitable baby. With a massive crash, they booted the wooden door off its hinges and swarmed the tiny room. Show yourself, Black Emperor. You're drawing your last breath today, and we're leaving your corpse for the crows. From the shadows, the Black Emperor's voice dripped with icy venom. You brainless grunts just made a fatal miscalculation. Not a single one of you is walking out of here. The monstrous kings erupted into mocking laughter. You're trapped in that miserable shell. How exactly are you going to tear us apart? Drop the tough. In a blinding flash of dark energy, the Black Emperor shattered his disguise, his massive, terrifying, true form towering over them, and fade away into a quiet life right here. But you mindless parasites dared to defile my master's sanctuary, and for that, your only reward today is a brutal slaughter. Moments later, blood-curdling shrieks ripped through the marketplace as the quaint little shop morphed into a slaughterhouse. The camera cuts to the sprawling holy grounds. Great Elder Shao narrowed his ancient eyes. You are our prized prodigy, the undisputed heir to the Holy Master's throne. Speak your mind. What is your assessment of this terrifying surge of spiritual energy radiating from Yuan? Chengming bowed his head respectfully. If you ask me, Elder, this mysterious powerhouse pulling the strings has zero ties to our sect. He's most likely an ancient reclusive hermit who just happened to cross paths with juniors like Kia and tossed them a bone. Nothing more. Elder Shao stroked his beard, a heavy silence hanging in the air. A fair theory, but you're missing a far grander possibility. What if this enigmatic figure is actually one of our legendary forefathers, descending from the upper realms to grace us with his cosmic blessing? If that's the truth, our entire Holy Land is about to ascend to unprecedented glory. Right on cue, Elder Yan Zhang practically kicked the courtyard doors down, gasping for breath. Holy Master, you have to see this! The room stared at him in utter shock. You literally just departed with your squad. Elder Shao's eyes snapped wide open as an invisible shockwave hit him. Wait, did you just shatter your cultivation bottleneck? You've been trapped in that exact same realm for 2 entire millennia, and you finally leveled up. Yang Zhang nodded, frantically trembling as he unrolled a parchment. Yes, and this seemingly ordinary painting is the catalyst that pushed me over. Zhao squinted at the paper. It's just ink on canvas. What's the big deal? But the instant his focus sharpened, the color completely drained from his face. Wait, no. This isn't mere artwork. There is an entire breathing cosmos trapped inside these strokes. The raw spiritual aura leaking out is absolutely suffocating. Without warning, a lethal shockwave of razor-sharp sword intent erupted from the canvas, slashing violently at everyone in the room. Kia threw herself back, screaming, moving at lightning speed. Elder Shao slammed his palms together. Ghostly glowing blades hovered menacingly inches from their throats for a heart-stopping second before finally dissolving into thin air. Wiping sweat from his brow, Shao demanded, Yan Zhang? Where in the hell did you dig up this terrifying... This is a literal divine relic. The calligraphy woven into this paper holds a terrifying cosmic truth, a level of enlightenment so deep that my own brain can't even begin. Yang Zhang threw his hands up defensively. Don't look at me, I have no clue. Kia was the one lugging it around. Stepping forward, Kia bowed deeply. A transcendent senior residing in Yuantown handed this directly to me. He's the exact same legend who granted names to all the village orphans. He was overwhelmingly gracious. He even promised that if I ever ran into a deadly bottleneck, I could knock on his door for absolute guidance. He promised he'd always look out for me. Cheng Ming's jaw practically hit the floor. Why would a heavy hitter like that show you so much favor? Kia held her ground. I swear I'm not making this up. If you think I'm lying, go ask Yuki. She was standing right beside me. Suddenly, the Holy Master burst into roaring laughter. The room fell dead silent, completely bewildered. What's so funny? Elder Shao stepped forward, a wide grin on his face. We've been blessed by that legendary senior. He blessed our kids with names handed over this priceless masterpiece, and left his door wide open for you. Do you grasp the sheer weight of that golden ticket? Kia blinked, entirely lost. I don't get it. Please clue me in. Elder Shao's eyes gleamed. The man you crossed paths with. He's bound to be our founding... By inviting you over whenever you please, he's practically screaming that he intends to put down roots in Yuantown for the long haul. This is the ultimate jackpot our Holy Land has been praying for. The Holy Master beamed. Kaya, you've done us incredibly proud. As of today, I officially crown you the saintess of our entire sect. Your rank now stands shoulder to shoulder with Chang Ming. Down the line, you might just inherit my throne. Tears streamed down Kia's cheeks as she choked out, "Thank you. Thank you so much, Master." Off to the side, Chang Ming stood frozen like a statue. Like a raging wildfire, the explosive news tore through the sect. Kia had snatched the saintess title and was eyeing the Holy Master's seat. Hallways buzzed with frantic whispers. Where does this leave Chang Ming now? From the cradle he was groomed to rule. Now that guaranteed destiny had flipped completely upside down. Yuki tugged at her sleeve, eyes wide. Senior sister Kia is the gossip reel. Are you actually snatching Chang Ming's crown? Kia shook her head frantically. No way, that's just talk. The master merely made me a promise. Besides, taking over the throne requires dual spiritual roots, and I'm stuck with a single one. I haven't got a ghost of a chance. Yuki gasped. So that shopkeeper we bumped into, is he genuinely that god tier? Kia gave a firm nod. Absolutely. He's an absolute titan, walking among mortals. Just riding the coattails of his word secured me this insane rank. Picture the sheer magnitude of his influence. Cut to Chang Ming pacing furiously with clenched fists. Why would Master pull the rug out from under me like this? A fellow disciple glided over, resting a soothing hand on his shoulder. Senior brother, take a breath. Kia is stuck with a single spiritual root, but the throne strictly demands dual. When the dust settles, that crown will still rest on your head. She only snagged that fancy title because she got lucky with that big shot master's promise. Chang Ming's eyes narrowed as it clicked. You hit the nail on the head. This whole mess tracks back to that mystery master. I know exactly what my next move is. I'm going to track him down and face him myself. If I can squeeze a promise out of him too, my future is locked down forever. Without missing a beat, he blasted off into the sky. Hang tight, Master, you're going to turn me into an absolute powerhouse too. Back at the shop, Yi Chen and Princess Yan were locked in an awkward standoff. Yi Chen crossed his arms. Miss Yan, you never cleared up why I found you crashed out in my bed. Princess Yan blushed deeply, avoiding his gaze. I honestly have no clue. Mid-slumber, this burning itch crawled all over my skin. Next thing I know, I snap my eyes open and you're touching me. You know exactly what went down after. Yi Chen flinched, waving his hands frantically. Hold up, don't twist the narrative. I absolutely did not cross any lines. Miss Yan gently laced her fingers with his. I get it. A profound figure like you isn't fazed by earthly desires. But us crashing into each other, that's pure destiny. Yi Chen screamed internally. I am totally into earthly desires. I'm a normal guy. He let out a heavy mental groan. This blows. I'm rocking 0 cultivation power. Here's a gorgeous girl literally serving herself on a silver platter, but she's backed by a monstrously elite family. I can't lay a finger on her without signing my own death warrant. His inner panic halted when a shadowy silhouette caught his eye through the shop window. Who's lurking out there? It was Chang Ming. Rooted to the pavement, Chang Ming broke into a cold sweat. What did I just witness? A flashback ripped through his mind. When he had first strolled into the city limits, he pegged this town as a pathetic backwater dump. But out of nowhere, the spiritual pressure in the air had spiked to suffocating levels. Tracking the source, he landed dead center in front of Yi Chen's storefront. This is ground zero for that monstrous aura. He barely glanced at the wooden signboard before a mountain of crushing gravity slammed into him. I have no idea why, but my instincts are screaming that an invisible beast is about to rip me apart. Raw spiritual currents began whipping violently around his body. I've never trained in these bizarre arts, yet this divine energy is seeping straight into my bones. Junior sister Kia must have hit her monumental breakthrough right here. Bingo, I've struck gold. He bows low, his voice trembling with deep reverence. I am Li Changming, the holy son of the Yuanjian Holy Land. I have come to pay my respects to the Grand Master. But he's met with absolute silence. Maybe the senior isn't around, he thinks. I probably shouldn't just barge in. What's the harm in a quick peek? But the second he crosses the threshold, his blood runs cold. The Black Emperor has just shredded a pack of Demon Kings. The beast's eyes lock onto him, radiating a suffocating, murderous aura. Chang Ming violently trips backward, stammering, That's a demon emperor. What the hell is a nightmare like that doing in a tiny rundown town? I'm dead. I'm so dead. Right at that moment, Ye Chen casually strolls up from behind. Hey there, kiddo. Why do you look like you just saw a ghost? Cheng Ming points a shaking finger. There's an absolute monster in that house. Ye Chen chuckles, shaking his head. First, it's a shop. And second, what monster are you even talking about? Cheng Ming swallows hard. Wait, this is your shop? Ye Chen gives a bright nod. Yep, I run this little grocery joint. Come on, let's head inside and see what's got you so spooked. Cheng Ming flails his arms wildly, desperate to hold him back. No, don't, it's a suicide mission. But Ye Chen just waltzes right through the door and spots the mangled corpses on the floor. He barely even blinks. Ah, I get it now. Hey, Princess Yan, hold this for a sec. I need to clean up a little mess. He turns back to the trembling cultivator with a warm smile. You've got it all wrong, buddy. Our shop just happens to sell wild boar meat every... Care to buy a few pounds? Cheng Ming's jaw practically hits the floor. Wild boars, those are freaking demon kings. And he's just calling them dinner. Right on cue, the terrifying Black Emperor trots over to Ye Chen's side. Cheng Ming scrambles backward, terrified for his life. But Ye Chen just gently pats the beast. Oh, this is just my pet dog. He's a total goofball, but he's a sweetheart. Relax, he doesn't bite. Down below, the Black Emperor silently schemes. As long as the master is watching, I'll play the good little puppy. Suddenly it hits Cheng Ming like a ton of bricks. This terrifying beast is easily at the Demon King level, or higher. And this guy treats it like a stray mutt. He has to be the hidden Grandmaster story. He instantly drops into a deep, respectful bow. Senior, I am Li Changming, a humble disciple of the Holy Land. I came all this way, just to seek your infinite wisdom. Ye Chen squints, muttering in his head. Another freeloader from the Yuanjian Holy Land. The last time that chick showed up calling me senior, she basically robbed me blind with her cheap bargaining. This dude is totally pulling the exact same scam. Glancing down at the massive carcasses, he starts doing the math. These boars are incredibly meaty. If I haul them over to Butcher Jin, I could easily score 7 or 8 silver coins a pop. Not a bad payday. Meanwhile, sweat pours down Cheng Ming's face as he panics. Why is the Grandmaster dead silent? Is he furious that I barged in uninvited? I've screwed up big time. I'm totally going to end up as dog food. Ye Chen is still happily crunching the numbers. If I offload all 4 of these big guys, that's a solid 30 taels of silver right there in my pocket. Man, these magic cultivators aren't half bad. They literally just drop free inventory right at my doorstep. He clears his throat and smiles. Hey, get up from the floor. You came all this way for a piece of calligraphy or a fresh painting, didn't you? Cheng Ming gasps, utterly paralyzed by shock. Wait, is this supreme being actually offering me a divine artifact? The exact same holy relic that pushed Jia into her breakthrough. Tears of sheer gratitude well up in his eyes. Yes, yes, master. I humbly beg for a piece of your legendary artwork. Please bless me. Ye Chen gestures toward the back. Follow me. He chuckles to himself. Hey, the guy just gifted me a mountain of free premium pork. The least I can do is roll out the red carpet for him. Trailing behind him like an obedient puppy, Cheng Ming's mind races. This senior is unbelievably humble, a true god walking among mortals. And he doesn't brag at all. Wait, maybe he sees my hidden potential. After all, my twin spiritual roots are 1 in a million. If he takes me under his wing as a direct disciple, my destiny will skyrocket to the absolute heavens. Ye Chen suddenly breaks the silence. So Mr. Cheng Ming, what's your flavor? I've got a whole collection. Some shout hard work and grit, while others are all about wealth and good fortune. But Cheng Ming is floating so high on cloud 9 that he just stands there, completely blanking out. Ye Chen awkwardly scratches his head. Man, folks nowadays are massive weirdos. I'm practically pitching a sail right to his face, and his brain is on another planet entirely. Down by their feet, the Black Emperor rolls his demonic eyes. Wow. I panicked for absolutely nothing. I thought this kid actually clocked my... and was going to blow my cover as the Black Emperor. But even after staring death straight in the face, this clown is completely clueless. What a brainless moron. He's totally ignoring the master's words, just standing there, drooling in his own little fantasy world. As long as I draw breath, nobody disrespects my master. The sheer audacity of this punk to just brush him off. Without warning, the Black Emperor snapped his jaws and sank his fangs straight into Cheng Ming's hand. Jolted by the sudden strike, Panic flooded Chang Ming's mind. He is ambushing me in his divine beast form. How do I even counter this? Just then, Yi Chen glanced over, arching an eyebrow. What are you hollering about? Flustered Chang Ming scrambled to cover it up. Nothing, sir. Everything is completely fine. I was merely admiring your majestic hound. Meanwhile, a cold drop of sweat slid down the Black Emperor's face. Crap, master almost caught me acting up. Completely oblivious, Yi Chen gripped his calligraphy brush, a confident grin spreading across his face. Get ready, because you are about to witness— Right before the bristles touched the paper, Princess Yan breezed into the parlor. Senior Eye stowed all those supplies exactly where you requested. But the second she spotted his poised brush, her eyes lit up with pure awe. She dashed forward, her heart pounding. The Grand Master is actually crafting a masterpiece. I absolutely cannot blink. Witnessing this divine stroke will definitely skyrocket my cultivation base. Keeping his focus on the canvas, Yi Chen murmured, Princess Yan. I need some pigments. Hand over that wooden palette box, would you? She instantly shoved Chang Ming out of the way. Step aside, you are blocking my view. Snatching up the colors, her mind raced frantically. I have watched the senior dominate the chessboard countless times, but this is utterly unprecedented. This is my very first time witnessing his divine brushwork. Let us see what cosmic secret— Sweeping his brush across the parchment, Yi Chen lectured smoothly. Art is an incredibly profound discipline. Everything hinges entirely on your stroke control. Next comes the flawless blending of the hues. But above all else, you must forge a piece that truly resonates with the human soul. Every single stroke must be drenched in profound meaning. Gasping softly, Princess Yan realized Lord Yi Chen has completely transcended into a state of absolute enlightenment. His movements are pure instinct. The heavenly Tao itself— Trembling, Chang Ming mentally praised his absolute luck. This is a once-in-a-lifetime miracle. A heavenly blessing cultivators would slaughter each other for. As their eyes locked onto the swirling ink, a massive vortex of spiritual energy violently swallowed their consciousness, dragging them. Staring into the vast void, Chang Ming whispered in sheer terror and awe. This is completely unfathomable. Beside him, Princess Yan gasped. Just inhaling the ambient aura in here is completely cleansing my meridians. Sweating profusely, Chang Ming stammered. It is entirely monochrome, yet it radiates the absolute pinnacle of all earthly pigments, a colorless dimension overflowing with pure, unadulterated power. Back in the mortal realm, Yi Chen finally set his brush aside, rolling his shoulders. Phew. Wrap it up. Man, that really took a lot out of me. Glancing sideways, he blinked in utter confusion. His two guests were staring dead into space. Totally baffled, he muttered, "What in the world is actually wrong with these two?" He aggressively poked their shoulders. Mr. Chang Ming, you have completely zoned out like 5 times today. Do you have a severe medical condition or something? That cannot be good for your health. Seriously, man, you need to go see a professional doctor immediately. Snapping back to reality, Chang Ming bowed so deeply his nose almost touched the floor. Senior, your mastery is beyond the heavens. Just watching your divine technique has fundamentally Yi Chen nervously waved his hands, chuckling awkwardly. Okay, calm down. It is literally just a sketch. You really do not need to flatter me. But deep down his heart was doing backflips. Hell yes, finally somebody actually recognizes my sheer talent. Rolling up the freshly dried scroll, he nonchalantly shoved it right into Chang Ming. Here, keep it. Clutching it like a newborn infant, Chang Ming practically sobbed with gratitude. I cannot thank you enough, Grandmaster. But dare I ask? Shrugging entirely offhandedly, Yi Chen replied, it is just a freebie. Let us just dub it a generous handout. Chang Ming's pupils instantly dilated. Generous implies a completely selfless act of cosmic grace, while a handout suggests something completely devoid of material worth. Good heavens, he is literally teaching me that absolute supreme virtue transcends all mortal value. This underlying message. He is basically mapping out my very essential— This senior's intellect is absolutely terrifying. With just a few random brushstrokes, he completely shattered the mental bottleneck I could never break on my own. Wait, a massive contradiction just hit me. My master Elder Xiao preaches the orthodox Tao. My entire sect practically breathes traditional Taoist incantations. Yet the killing aura radiating from this scroll reeks of absolute world-ending sword intent. What is the Grand Master subtly hinting at? Is he demanding I completely abandon my roots? Oh my God. Has my entire life's training been a complete pathetic joke? Is this fundamental flaw the exact reason my power level has... It all perfectly makes sense now. My ultimate destiny was always bound to the supreme path of the blade, completely oblivious to the existential crisis Yi Chen casually yawned. Anyway, that is all I have got for you today. And seriously mull over whatever you just absorbed. Changming's eyes widened in absolute horror. He is giving me a direct ultimatum. Drop the... I need to retreat to the sect immediately and drastically sever my current cultivation base to find my true calling. Minutes later, Changming stumbled out of the shop, hot tears streaming down his face. Damn it. If I literally cripple my Taoist core to pursue the sword, I am going to be entirely stripped of my glorious Holy Sun title and sitting on the Holy Master's throne in the future. That dream is completely dead. Still bumping into that senior today was an absolute blessing. Without his guidance, I would have kept grinding down this dead-end path, wasting my entire life for nothing. I need to have a serious sit-down with Master. We have to figure out my actual priorities. What actually matters more, my martial growth or snatching that fancy title? Meanwhile, Yi Chen was scratching his head completely baffled. Seriously, today's visitor was way weirder than the last guy. I literally just told him to pin the artwork up in his house, and somehow he totally twisted my words and ran off sobbing. The Holy Master was peacefully sipping his tea when Changming suddenly crashed into the courtyard, wailing at the top of his lungs. "Master! You have to help me!" Jolted, the older man nearly dumped his boiling brew all over himself. Elder Shao immediately demanded to know what was wrong. Tears streaming down his face, Changming choked out, "Master, you knew this whole time that I wasn't cut out to lead this sect. Why did you keep me in the dark?" Elder Shao silently analyzed the outburst. He reasoned that Changming had been groomed for the throne since he was in diapers. But with Jia suddenly dropping into the picture and snatching up the Saintess title, the boy was obviously feeling deeply betrayed. The Holy Master stepped up and sighed softly. "Changming, calm down. Since things have escalated to this point, dragging out the lie won't do us any good. As your mentor, I will give it to you straight." Changming frantically waved his hands. "No, Master, that is totally not why I'm freaking out. Just let me explain first." The older man froze, his brow furrowing. "Then what on earth are you whining about?" Clamping a heavy hand on the boy's trembling shoulder, he softened his tone. "I know your heart is in the right place, but you must be hurting right now. Spit it out. Tell me what's on your mind." Changming vigorously nodded, his eyes practically sparkling. "Master, I swung by Yuantown today, and I actually crossed paths with the exact same supreme being Jia ran into." The second those words, the Holy Master went pale and ruthlessly backhanded him across the face. "You absolute idiot!" Clutching his stinging cheek, Changming whined. "Master, what was that for? I didn't even mess up." The sect leader glared daggers at him. That godlike ancestor is living off the grid for a reason. He washed his hands of the mortal world and hates uninvited guests. If we keep poking our noses into his business to leech off his grace, he is going to snap. And the second he loses his temper, he'll wipe our entire sect off the map. We will all be slaughtered. Changming desperately interjected. But Master, he wasn't mad in the slightest. Honestly, he looked pretty thrilled to see me. He even tossed me a scroll called Generous Gift. I guarantee you're gonna love it. The sect leader's furious scowl instantly melted into pure shock. Wait. He personally handed you a mask? Bring it out right this second. Changming swallowed hard. When he passed it over, he dropped a massive bombshell. He told me my current cultivation path is total garbage. I have zero talent for the Tao. Apparently, I'm supposed to be wielding a blade. Elder Shao squinted at the item, thinking this parchment looks incredibly basic. It completely lacks the divine aura of Jia's treasure. Maybe that supreme being let him off the hook simply because he's a naive kid, while making it back alive is a miracle in itself. The Holy Master sternly laid down the law. Changming carved this into your brain. I handpicked you to be the Holy Sun. Your only focus will be mastering our sect's ultimate technique, the glorious path of immortality. You are absolutely forbidden from dabbling in anything else. He roughly snatched the canvas from his disciple's grip. Changming protested. But Master, that feels like a huge mistake, Elder Shao barked. Zip it. This cheap sketch doesn't even hold a candle to Jia's holy relic. Hand it over. Glancing at the brushstrokes, he scoffed. This is completely useless. But an apocalyptic wave of energy erupted from the paper. Elder Shao gasped in terror. What in the world is happening? Before they could blink, the space around them warped, sucking them straight into a dimension hidden inside the artwork. Staring into the void, the Holy Master was paralyzed, hot tears streaming down his face. What kind of godly domain is this? Suddenly a profound epiphany slammed into him. My God, this is the ultimate essence of yin and yang, a monochromatic universe, overflowing with boundless power and flawless harmony. If a cultivator sinks their soul with this grand truth, they would become an absolute juggernaut. No mortal force could ever slow them down. This sanctuary is breathtaking. It turns out the supreme expert has genuinely taken a shine to Changming too. His mind raced back to the boy's bizarre claim. The ancestor explicitly told him to forge a path with a blade. What is the hidden meaning here? Are we supposed to pivot his entire training towards swordsmanship? Is that his true destiny? Breaking the silence, Changming whimpered. Master, what's going to happen to my future? Am I supposed to walk the Tao, or do I pick up a sword? Tell me what to do. Elder Shao gently gripped the trembling boy's hand and muttered, Changming, every single word you said was dead on. The senior is clearly dropping a massive hint for us. You need to master the blade. Unlock its secrets and your power will skyrocket. Changming's voice trembled slightly. Master, that I can't be the Holy Son anymore. Elder Shao met his gaze. I am the sovereign of this holy land, and you are its chosen son. But here's the brutal truth. The senior explicitly ordered you to study the sword, and defying his will is pure suicide. Starting today, our core foundation remains untouched, but we will pour our souls into mastering the blade. Together we will forge an unstoppable force. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Changming bowed. Master, your mercy knows no bounds. Elder Shao gave a curt nod. Dismissed. As Changming turned away, Shao's voice echoed through the hall. Changming, burn this into your mind. Bleed for your train. The senior placed a mountain of faith on your shoulders. Do not dare disappoint him. Changming's eyes burned with fierce determination. Rest assured, Master, I will tear myself apart to succeed. Hours later, tension choked the Grand Hall as every sect master assembled. One elder broke the silence. Holy Master, what catastrophe forced this emergence? Elder Shao's voice was grim. Our very last immortal cultivator has completely abandoned the path. Whispers erupted across the room. What on earth is happening? I am totally lost. Did we anger some demon lord? Are we facing extinction? The Holy Master slammed his hand down, rising to his feet. Silence. Settle down. I have two massive decrees to declare. Number 1. 2 days ago I officially crowned Jia as a saintess. This grants her the absolute right to challenge for the Holy Master throne. However, let me be crystal clear. The Holy Son's authority remains completely untouched. You will show him the exact same unwavering respect as always. Jia's sole mission now is to shadow the senior, catering. Number 2. As you are all painfully aware, the grand tournament kicks off in exactly 1 month. This brutal clash only erupts once a decade. Our Yuanjin Holy Land will collide head-on with the savage Jikan Holy Land. Their elites are marching straight to our doorstep for absolute war. So gear up. Push your disciples to train until their bones crack. If we crush them, our glory will echo across the realms. An elder scoffed slightly. Holy Master, with all due respect, our disciples bled for us last time. We traded massive blows and held our ground. But in your high-stakes chess duel against Dujin, you got absolutely massacred. Another elder chimed in with zero hesitation. The kids are grinding flawlessly. You are the one who keeps dragging our name through the mud. So maybe you should start practicing instead of slacking off. Zhao gritted his teeth, his inner voice seething. These arrogant fools are crossing the line. Yet another elder piled on. Every single time you choke, they snatch away our 1,000-year-old artifacts, and we just sit here completely helpless. From the back, a voice rang out. Holy Master, I have got a brilliant strategy. Since you are physically incapable, when they arrive, we will just fake a deep meditation retreat. Boom. No match, no humiliating defeat. The Holy Master erupted, his aura flaring. What absolute garbage are you spouting? The masters simply stared back, their silent thoughts roaring loud and clear. Dude, you literally never win. Deflated, the Holy Master let out a heavy sigh. You amateurs cannot fathom the brutal depths of chess. Dujin's tactics are monstrous, especially his signature move, the four dragons spitting water. It creates a suffocating, pyramid-shaped death trap. The second I step inside, I am paralyzed. No matter how wildly I struggle, I am dead meat. Maybe some mythical Grand Master out there can crush him, but his style is just freakishly bizarre. The elders stifled their chuckles, rolling their eyes. Same pathetic excuse every single year. He chokes, then cries about the board. Suddenly, Yan Jiang marched straight to the center. Holy Master, hear me out. I have a genuine solution. The mysterious senior residing down in Yuan Town absolutely holds the key to. If we beg for his wisdom, he will definitely bail us out. The man has walked this earth for centuries, and his artistic mastery is terrifyingly divine. If a mere brushstroke from him bends reality, just imagine the lethal depths of his chess knowledge. Just one lesson from him, and you could finally shatter Du Jin into pieces. Xiao's eyes widened as the realization hit him like a lightning bolt. Wait, that is actually genius. When cultivators ascend to a godlike tier, they often turn to arts like calligraphy, painting, and chess to forge an unbreakable connection with the universe. He nodded furiously, adrenaline spiking. This is a golden ticket. A single encounter could trigger my next breakthrough. Flinging his robes, he roared to the heavens. The shot cuts to Jia, deeply immersed in fierce cultivation. Sweat dripped down her face as her mind raced. I have to shatter my limits. The senior gambled everything on me. I will not let him. I have to prove I deserve this power. Just as the thought crossed her mind, Elder Xiao stepped into the courtyard. Your technique is absolutely flawless, he praised. Tia immediately bowed in respect. Great Elder, I didn't realize you were watching. A warm smile spread across his aged face. You've already broken through. Your rapid growth is honestly terrifying. I have zero doubts you're going to completely dominate the upcoming tournament. Thank you, Holy Master, Tia replied, her voice grounded in deep humility. But I can't take the credit. Every ounce of this strength comes directly from Senior Yi. If he hadn't taken me under his wing, I would never have skyrocketed like this. He completely shattered my limits and forged an entirely new destiny for me. Elder Xiao gave a slow, approving nod. Listen, Tia. The other masters and I recently held a closed-door meeting to discuss your... As you already know, all hell breaks loose next month. The ultimate showdown between our Yuanjian Holy Land and the Jikin Holy Land is rapidly approaching. But before the chaos erupts, we are hosting a massive coronation. We're officially announcing to the world that you are our newly crowned saintess. Tia's gaze never wavered. Master, whatever the sect demands, I will execute without hesitation. Turning his back to leave, the elder let out a satisfied breath. Excellent. I'm thrilled we're on the exact same page. Before we go on, I need to know, what exactly is Senior Yi Chen like? Is he a volatile force or a grounded master? Kia's eyes widened as she explained, his cultivation is completely off the charts. The man radiates such absolute power that I couldn't even grasp the depths of his aura. But here's the crazy part, he speaks with genuine warmth and humility, making you feel like the most important person in the room. He's shockingly approachable, and treats everyone with total respect. Elder Xiao stroked his chin, a knowing look crossing his face. So you completely miss the real meaning behind his actions. A titan like Yi Chen has taken a liking to you, because your raw talent is staggering, and he sees massive potential in your future. Kia beamed inwardly. So it's actually true. Master Yi Chen genuinely favors me. This is massive. Elder Xiao broke her train of thought. I've secured an incredibly rare artifact, and I'm heading to Yuantown to offer it to the senior myself. But since you and Chen Ming are the only ones who've crossed paths with him, I need you to tag along and break the ice. Kia bowed her head gracefully. Say no more, great elder. Inside, her heart raced. I never dreamed I'd get to cross paths with Master Yi Chen again this fast. This is absolute perfection. Just as they geared up to head out, Elder Xiao dropped a strict warning. Keep this straight, do not call me Holy Master while we're in his presence. Throwing around, just introduce me as an ordinary elder from your clan. That'll keep things smooth and respectful. Kia gave a firm nod. Crystal clear, great elder. Meanwhile, miles away, Yi Chen was hunched over his desk, desperately trying to sketch, while Princess Yan vigorously swept the wooden floor behind him. The constant scraping of the broom was driving him up the wall. I'm trying to lock in here, he groaned internally, but because of her my brain is completely scrambled. Finally snapping, he turned around. Miss Yan, seriously. Why don't you take a breather? You're going to run yourself into the ground at this rate. She flashed a bright smile. Oh, don't worry about me, Senior Yi Chen. I've got plenty of energy. Yi Chen marched right over, snatched the broom from her grip, and sighed. Sit down before you pass out. Underneath it all, he was seething. She's been buzzing around like a pesky mosquito all morning while I'm trying to work. She's just kicking clouds of dust straight up my nose. I can't get a single stroke right. Unaware of his inner rage, the princess swooned. He's so protective of me. He literally forced me to relax. Senior Yi Chen is an absolute angel. Instead, she chirped, well, if sweeping is off the table. Yi Chen pinched the bridge of his nose. What are you even doing? I just want you to plant yourself in a chair and chill for a minute. You don't have to play the maid 24/7. But his words completely bounced off her. Yi Chen ground his teeth together in pure frustration. This is agonizing. She is driving me completely insane. And the ultimate kicker, her bloodline is terrifyingly powerful. My hands are completely tied. If I even lay a finger on her, her royal relatives will wipe me off the map. Losing his cool, he slammed his ink brush onto the desk and muttered, when is this nightmare get? She's been crashing at my place for days now. Cut to the dusty outskirts of Yuan Town, where a fully armored squad of Imperial guards had just rolled up to the gates. A female tracker held up a glowing relic. Commander, look at this. The tracking compass confirms our 9th princess is hiding out somewhere inside these walls. The towering commander narrowed his eyes. If that compass is right, we rip this place apart until we find her. But the second they crossed the threshold, a crushing wave of spiritual pressure slammed into them. The tracker gasped, watching her compass shatter. What the hell? My jade locator just completely fried. The commander's face darkened. The aura here is suffocating. Yuan Town operates under the shadow of the Yuan Jin Holy Land, a massively powerful domain. It makes absolute sense that they've set up heavy invisible barriers. They don't let just anyone waltz in. The spiritual current rushing through these streets is absolutely terrifying. A seasoned guard stepped up, bewildered. But Commander, I patrolled this exact spot a few years back, and it was a total dead zone. For almost a century, this place was drying up. It should be an absolute wasteland by now, but this is like a raging hurricane. The commander shot him a cold glare. I don't give a damn about local anomalies. Our one and only mission is securing the 9th princess. She's been off the grid for 2 solid weeks. If we come back empty-handed, our heads will be on the chopping block. He ignited his own towering aura, sweeping the city with his mind. Got her. There's a monstrous concentration of energy radiating from that sector. Move out. The squad bolted down the spiritual breadcrumb trail, halting abruptly right outside Yi Chen's humble storefront. The commander sneered in disbelief. What kind of joke is this? A simple grocery store? How in the world is a cosmic-level aura bleeding out of a place like this? We need to breach the walls and investigate immediately. But the very instant his boot hit the porch, a paralyzing, godlike force boom! A figure plummeted from the sky, like a meteor shattering the cobblestone street into a crater. It was Elder Shao. Rising from the dust, his voice cut through the air like ice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you are Lu Chengyi, from the Qishu mansion of the Great Yan royal dynasty. Spot on, Lu Chengyi admitted, offering a slight nod. And you must be the esteemed Holy Lord of the Yuanjian Holy Land. Elder Shao narrowed his eyes, his voice dripping with authority. You've trespassed onto our sacred grounds. Did you conveniently forget the ironclad pact between the royal family and the Holy Land? The treaty makes it crystal clear, no unauthorized border crossings. So what exactly is your business here? Bowing deeply, Lu Chengyi scrambled to explain. Please overlook our intrusion. We certainly didn't wander in here on purpose. Our 9th princess vanished a while back. We were tracking her trail and it dragged us straight into your territory. The elder's face hardened into a mask of ice. Are you implying that your precious 9th princess is hiding within our borders? Why on earth would she be here? Or is this some cheap attempt to frame us? Before tensions could boil over, a familiar voice cut through the air. Mr. Liu, what are you doing out here? The 2 powerful masters whipped around, locking eyes with none other than Princess Yan. How did you manage to find this place? She asked, tilting her head. Lu Chengyi's jaw practically hit the dirt. Your Highness 9th princess, why are you wearing rags, and is that a broom? Elder Shao was just as dumbfounded. Wait, This girl is the royal princess. I seriously thought she was just some lowly servant scrubbing the courtyard. Blood rushed to Lu Chengyi's face as he roared, "Your Highness, give me a name. Who is the absolute scumbag forcing you to do menial labor? The Kishu mansion will tear them apart. No one makes our royal princess sweep floors and lives to tell the tale." Elder Shao gulped, a chilling realization hitting him. This has to be Senior Yi Chen's masterpiece. Who else possesses the power to abduct royal? Standing nearby, Kia couldn't help but cringe inwardly. To think a pampered royal whose lifestyle rivals celestial beings is now doing chores inside Master Yi Chen's humble store. Does Master Yi Chen harbor some seriously twisted fetishes? Without hesitating, Lu Chengyi lunged forward and snatched the princess's wrist. "Your Highness, we're standing on Yuanzhen's soil. We can't afford to make a scene right now. Please, you need to leave with me. We lack the numbers today, but mark my words. I'll return with an army and butcher the bastard who humiliated you." Rage flared in Elder Shao's chest. This arrogant fool dares to badmouth our supreme senior? If my hands weren't tied by the great Yan Empire's treaty, I'd snap his neck right here. But before anyone could blink, Princess Yan violently yanked her arm free. "Your Highness, what has gotten into you?" Lu Chengyi stammered. In a flash, Princess Yan closed the distance and cracked a vicious slap across his cheek. "Watch your filthy mouth. I won't let you utter a single disrespectful word about Senior." Lu Chengyi stood frozen, rubbing his stinging jaw. "I risked my life to save her, and she assaults me." Even Elder Shao and Kia exchanged utterly bewildered glances. Gripping her broom like a weapon, Princess Yan glared fiercely. "Every single thing I do here is to secure our empire's future. Your reckless blabbering almost doomed us all. Use your brain before you speak." Shaking his head, Lu Chengyi pleaded, "Your Highness, are you listening to yourself? The great Yan Empire is an absolute powerhouse. We don't need charity. Sweeping floors won't save our nation. The true shields of our land are His Majesty and our legendary ancestors. Your cultivation is too weak. You're being brainwashed. The monster who lured you here is clearly manipulating you, feeding you pathetic delusions. I'm begging you, come home." Elder Shao let out a menacing chuckle. "A monster, you say? Lu Chengyi, you're digging your own grave. You are completely oblivious to the godlike existence residing in that shop. If you knew, you'd be begging for mercy." Lu Chengyi scoffed, rolling his eyes. "Oh please, who could it possibly be? Some mythical founding patriarch?" Meanwhile, deep inside the cozy shop, the Black Emperor was snoozing away. His ears twitched. "What is all that irritating racket outside? Some punks are definitely asking for a death wish. I was literally in the middle of the best nap ever. Whoever woke me up is going straight to the underworld." Snarling, he stomped out the front door. The sheer, suffocating aura radiating from him instantly tipped off both masters. This guy was a certified demon king. The Black Emperor grumbled mentally. "I was having a great dream and these clowns ruined." Cold sweat drenched Lu Chengyi's back. How? This is just a rundown village. Why on earth is a demon king camping out here?" Elder Shao swallowed hard. A demon king? Lu Chengyi, put your grudge away. This beast is off the charts. I can't hold him off alone. We need to team up now." Lu Chengyi frantically nodded. "Agreed. If this monster goes on a rampage, the entire Holy Land will be reduced to ash." The Black Emperor flashed a predatory grin. "You two fossils really think you stand a chance? You're not even fit to shine my shoes. Go ahead, combine your pathetic little powers. You still won't leave a scratch on me." As he cranked up his crushing, terrifying spiritual pressure, Elder Shao screamed, "Brace yourself! This demon is out for blood!" Right at that climax, Yi Chen casually strolled out and smacked the Black Emperor upside the head. "Black Emperor, why are you out here acting like a thug again? Nobody likes a bully. I've lectured you about this 100 times, yet it goes in one ear and out the other." Instantly, the terrifying demon shrunk into a trembling mess, whimpering in his "I completely abandoned your teachings." Lu Chengyi stood there totally paralyzed. Just a second ago, that monstrous demon king could have snapped our necks. Now it's rolling around like some docile house cat. Elder Xiao swallowed hard, a sudden realization hitting him. Then, his power level is so unfathomably deep, my senses couldn't even pick up a trace of him. Yi Chen waved a hand, looking perfectly relaxed. "Hey, my bad. I run this little shop. My furry friend over there didn't mean to spook you guys." Xiao and Lu exchanged terrified glances. "A pet? What kind of absolute monster keeps an apex demon king as a casual companion? Kia dipped into a deep, reverent bow. Senior Yi Chen, it is a true privilege to see you again. What brings you around these parts? Kia gestured to the trembling. He was absolutely captivated by that painting you gave me. He practically begged for an introduction, so I escorted him here. Elder Xiao hurriedly cupped his hands in greeting. I am Xiao Zhuan. Standing in your presence is the greatest honor of my life, Senior Yi Chen. Yi Chen quickly stepped forward, waving it off politely. Whoa, you're way old. Inside, he couldn't help but sigh. Sure, I don't have a single drop of magic in my veins, but my brushwork must be out of this world. If absolute heavyweights like them are fanboying over my art. Yi Chen then shifted his gaze toward the other man. Miss Yan, who's your friend? Lu Chengji puffed up his chest, ready to declare, I am a high-ranking minister of the Dayan Empire. But Princess Yan violently elbowed him, cutting him off. He's Lu Chengji, just my family's butler. He came looking for me. Yi Chen gave an understanding nod. Ah, so you're here to escort the young lady home? Lu Chengji swallowed his pride. Yes, exactly. Yi Chen flashed a welcoming grin. Perfect. We've got quite the crowd today. Step inside, everyone. Let me brew up a fresh pot of tea. Elder Xiao practically beamed. We are deeply grateful, Senior. His heart hammered against his ribs. This is a once-in-a-lifetime shot. Just stepping foot into an expert's domain could trigger a massive breakthrough. Kia and the princess strolled straight through the gate. But the moment the two seasoned veterans tried to cross the threshold, a massive invisible wall violently repelled them. What on earth? Elder Xiao gasped, his eyes widening in pure horror. This is a mythical tier defense ward. It's viciously rejecting anyone with advanced cultivation. Lu Chengji traced his fingers against the shimmering air. The sheer density of this shield is terrifying. You couldn't forge a barrier this indestructible without burning a literal divine relic. Elder Xiao wiped sweat from his brow. But our energy signatures are way too massive. That's why it locked us out cold. Yi Chen glanced over his shoulder, looking confused. Hey, what's the holdup? Right then, a single crisp leaf drifted down from a branch overhead, brushing gently against the invisible dome. In a flash, the impenetrable ward shattered like fragile glass, sending both legendary masters tumbling face first into the dirt. They yelped in sheer disbelief. What in the heavens just happened? Watching two grown men eat dirt, Yi Chen deadpanned internally. Seriously, these folks are a special kind of weird. It honestly feels like the higher your magic level goes, the more brain cells you lose. Times like this, I'm genuinely thrilled I'm powerless. Otherwise, I'd probably be crawling in the mud too. Both grandmasters pushed themselves up, spitting out fragments of chipped teeth. Faces burning with humiliation, they muttered, Our old bones just gave out, we merely slipped. But the second they actually took in the courtyard, their jaws hit the floor all over again. This is absolute madness. His backyard dog is a literal demon king. And that towering oak over there, that's a primeval demon tree, a god-tier entity. They stared, trembling. Good lord, even the basic patio is radiating pure, condensed, spiritual essence. They spun around, completely hypnotized. We just walked into a totally different dimension. If a cultivator simply crashed here for a few weeks, their power would skyrocket into the stratosphere. Every single atom in this place is bursting with vitality. Unfazed, Yi Chen gestured toward the wooden stools. Grab a seat and catch your breath. I'll go get that kettle boiling. As everyone awkwardly settled around the table, Lu Chengji leaned in, his voice barely a terrified whisper. This senior is infinitely more terrifying than we ever dared to guess. How do we even proceed? Elder Xiao's hands were shaking. I expected a powerhouse, sure, but I never fathomed he existed on a plane like this. We are looking at a living god, the absolute apex predator. There is literally no realm higher than this. Lu Chengji gulped hard. We could liquidate our entire empire and still wouldn't afford a single leaf. And this guy just uses it for yard shade. Just sitting underneath the canopy, my chest is caving in from the spiritual gravity. I'm gasping for air, but my core strength is surging like crazy. Elder Xiao nodded slowly, eyes wide. I feel it too. It's practically suffocating me. Make no mistake, Senior. Yi Chen is putting us through a brutal to gauge our true potential. Right in the middle of their conversation, Elder Xiao's gaze locked onto a chessboard resting nearby. I figured as much, he murmured to himself. The man is clearly Let's examine his strategy. As the old man stepped closer, Princess Yan's voice cracked with panic. Old master, step back! That setup is a lethal trap. Once that formation pulls you in, absolutely nothing can drag you back out. Elder Shao froze, utterly captivated. A strange aura pulsed from the pieces, radiating an overwhelming sense of profound wisdom, almost as if he plunged into deep concentration. 1 second, brutal phantom armies collided in a bloody slaughter. The next, the pieces shifted like a rushing river, totally fluid and formless. Suddenly it flared with the blazing, unstoppable fury of the sun, before melting into the icy glow of the moon. It was chillingly still, laying bare the razor-thin line separating life from death. Hot tears streamed down the old man's weathered cheeks. Master Yi Chen, I finally grasped the profound lesson you laid out for me. Moments later, Yi Chen strolled back into the room, balancing a steaming teapot. Apologies for the delay, folks. He blinked at his guests, who were all glued to his wooden table. What on earth has them so captivated, he wondered. Elder Shao bowed deeply, his voice dripping with reverence. Master Yi Chen, I must... Yi Chen shrugged nonchalantly. Oh, that? It's a dead tie. The two Grand Masters gasped, absolutely thunderstruck. A tie. Lu Chengyi's mind raced. Ah, it makes perfect sense now. The onyx and ivory pieces are resting in flawless equilibrium. It paints the picture of an endless war without a victor. A perfect manifestation of yin and yang, where ultimate tranquility and lethal danger dance together. This is the ultimate secret of the universe, Elder Shao chimed in mentally. It embodies pure cosmic balance. To weave such profound truth into a mere casual pastime, the man is... All the while, Yi Chen just stood there, scratching his head. Are these geezers okay? Nobody won. The game literally just stalled out. Why are they staring at it like it holds the secrets to the cosmos? Clearing his throat, I'm fresh out of the fancy stuff, so I just brewed up a batch using some foliage from my own garden. Fingers crossed it doesn't taste terrible. The elders practically tripped over their words in response. Nonsense, sir. Even a drop of water from your home is an absolute divine blessing. Lu Chengyi quickly nodded along. Whatever graces your fingertips transforms into price. Elder Shao's heart pounded like a drum. If his brewing techniques are this incredibly refined, his cultivation level must be completely off the charts. Ancient myths speak of sacred herbs that could shatter cultivation bottlenecks in an instant. If this man truly is a primordial deity, then a single sip of this brew could elevate my power beyond imagination. Just then Yi Chen plucked a soggy leaf from the rim. The very second that greenery caught the light, the two veterans froze. A blinding shockwave of pure, concentrated spiritual energy erupted from the tiny plant, practically burning their corneas. Good heavens! What on... With a flick of his wrist, Yi Chen carelessly tossed the glowing leaf straight into the boiling liquid. Elder Shao's mind short-circuited. In all my centuries of living, I have never laid eyes. Only an omnipotent supreme being would treat an artifact of this magnitude so casually. If my sect obtained just half of that leaf, we would lock it inside our deepest, most heavily guarded vault. Elder Shao's brain went into overdrive. By scalding it with boiling water, he's forcing every ounce of that godly essence into the broth. Consuming that liquid will skyrocket our cultivation cores. The two old men were practically drooling with anticipation. We've finally hit the jackpot. One sip and we'll ascend. But in the very next heartbeat, Yi Chen tilted his wrist violently, dumping the first wash right onto the dirt. The two grandmasters nearly had a heart attack. Did he really just do that? He just poured an ocean of liquid gold straight into the mud. Yi Chen caught them staring and raised an eyebrow. What? Do I have something on my face? The old men shrieked in unison. You just dumped the divine brew out! A soft chuckle escaped Yi Chen's lips. Whoa there, calm down. You've got it all wrong. That was just the bitter first wash to clean the leaves. Here, take a sip of the real stuff. It should hit the spot. The two legends visibly trembled. This elixir is far too divine. We aren't worthy of even sniffing it. Even the two young women standing nearby were completely mesmerized. The aura rolling off those cups is absolutely suffocating. Just inhaling the vapor feels like my energy pathways are tearing themselves open, and Yi Chen frowned, totally baffled by the heavy silence. Why is everyone just staring at their cups like statues? Then a thought smacked him in the face. Oh, duh. These guys are high-rolling, immortal cultivators from stupidly rich clans. They probably drink 100-year-old aged nectar for breakfast. And here I am serving them dirt-cheap backyard weeds. They probably think I'm insulting them. Rubbing the back of his neck, Yi Chen sighed. Look, if the batch is too bitter for your taste, no hard feelings. You can go ahead and toss it. Elder Shao nearly jumped out of his skin. Master, please, you misunderstand, he hollered in panic. We were merely savoring the heavenly aroma before taking a sip. Terrified he might take the cups away, the group frantic. The instant that piping hot amber hit their tongues, their eyes rolled back in pure euphoria. By the god, Lu Chengyi was equally spellbound. This is heaven in a cup. Within seconds, the entire room looked visibly intoxicated. Their bodies sagging like jelly as slurring slightly, Lu Chengyi beamed. My bones feel as light as feathers. Every trace of fatigue is completely washed away. I haven't felt this incredibly alive in decades. It's nothing short of a divine miracle, Brother Shao. What are you experiencing? Staring blankly at the ceiling, Elder Shao mumbled, I feel like I'm floating down a serene river, on a velvet. They were hovering right on the edge of transcending reality, ready to shatter every mortal limit. My mind is completely crystal clear. Every single distraction has just vanished into thin air. Watching them space out, Yi Chen sighed inwardly. Here they go being weird again. I literally just poured them some hot leaf juice. Seriously, why are they acting like they just chugged 3 bottles of tequila? Without warning, a massive tidal wave of pure energy erupted inside the two masters. Lu Chengyi gasped. What on earth is this phenomenon? My spiritual aura is absolutely skyrocketing. Elder Shao stammered, his eyes wide in terror. It is like millennia of ancient martial wisdom are being forcefully downloaded into my brain. I do not even have the mental capacity to process it all. Unfazed Yi Chen casually broke the silence. So, how is the brew? The two elders froze, completely paralyzed on how to actually answer that. Lu Chengyi swallowed hard, thinking, this is a test. He is probing our foundation to see if we are worthy. Snapping back to reality, Elder Shao sputtered out, Senior. After consuming this divine nectar, my spiritual vision has completely unlocked. My physical vessel is revitalized. It is like my very soul has been reborn. Lu Chengyi nodded frantically. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the most exquisite nectar I have tasted in my entire existence. Yi Chen just blinked, utterly baffled. I gave them some basic tap water with leaves, and they are hallucinating a spiritual awakening. Are these geezers pulling up? While the old masters were practically sweating bullets, the two girls finally recovered from their initial shock. Catching each other's gaze, beaming smiles lit up their faces. They both realized our auras shifted. We are literally glowing with newfound beauty. Bowing with deep reverence, Lu Chengyi spoke up. Mr. Yi, your hospitality was divine. I brought a humble offering. Please accept it as a token of my deepest apologies for my Yi Chen thought I had been treating them like random couch surfers, yet they are practically groveling and handing over free loot. Plastering on a warm smile, he replied, Well, if you are going to insist so earnestly, I would be rude to decline. He smoothly swiped the box. Elder Shao cringed internally, thinking I showed up empty-handed. This is humiliating. Kia bit her lip, regretting, Ugh, I totally should have prepared. Popping the lid open, Yi Chen hummed. Let us take a peek, shall we? I bet it is something fancy. Nestled inside was a frosty, glowing orb. Elder Shao gasped. Heavens, that is a frost pearl. Kia chimed in breathless. That is a genuine celestial-grade artifact. Yi Chen, of course, was completely clueless. Noticing his blank stare, Elder Shao quickly explained. A frost pearl is an unbelievably scarce relic, forged over eons in the most punishingly frigid abysses. Even a tiny sliver is worth an entire empire. But this one is the size of a massive apple. The sheer fortune it cost is unimaginable. Kia stepped in. Martial artists use polar elements to temper their bodies. But harnessing an artifact of this magnitude is borderline suicidal. If that glacial aura invades your meridians unchecked, your entire cultivation base would be shattered forever. Shivering slightly, Princess Yan thought, just breathing the air around it makes my... Ignoring the panic, Yi Chen casually plucked the lethal orb from its cushion. Wow, that is really chilly. It is like a portable air conditioner. I am definitely keeping this. He started tossing it up and catching it. This will be absolutely perfect for chilling my watermelons this summer. Heck, I could launch a shaved ice stand and make a killing. The onlookers nearly had a heart attack. He was literally juggling a weapon of mass destruction like a tennis ball. He could not care less that he was holding a priceless heavenly treasure. Lu Chengyi swallowed hard. An item that would instantly execute any of us. is literally a fidget toy to him. Elder Xiao thought in sheer terror, one brush of a finger and we would be ice sculptures. But his skin is not even reacting. Clearing his throat nervously, Lu Chengyi spoke up. She must have been an utter nuisance. I deeply apologize for the inconvenience, and I am officially here to escort her home. Yi Chen immediately stepped up, gripping the old man's hand warmly. Oh, you are taking her back? Lu Chengyi nodded firmly. Yes, sir. Yi Chen cheered internally. Score one snagged some free loot, and the freeloader, but masking his joy, he put on a deeply melancholic face. Sigh. I truly did not expect our parting to be so sudden, but I suppose all. Princess Yan's eyes softened. Do not be sad, senior. I promise I will come back and visit you. Overhearing this, Elder Xiao's what kind of profound destiny does the ninth princess hold? To make an omnipotent being like Senior Yi Chen actually dread her departure. But out of nowhere, Princess Yan planted her feet and declared, Lu Chengyi, I absolutely refuse to leave. The old master nearly choked. Your Highness, have you lost your mind? Yi Chen's jaw practically hit the floor. Wait, I was just putting on a polite act? Did she actually buy my fake tears? Completely misreading the room, Princess Yan turned to him. Senior Yi Chen, please do not worry. I am not abandoning you. Spinning back around, she commanded Lu Chengyi return and inform my father to stop sending retrieval squads. I am remaining right here by the senior's side. Whenever I feel like returning, I will send a courier. Panic flared in Yi Chen's chest. Is this brat completely insane? If she ditches her, Lu Chengyi threw his hands up in utter defeat. Well, if that is your final decision, what am I supposed to do? Seeing his piece slipping away. Look, little Miss Passion is great, but filial piety is crucial. Obey your elders. If you really, truly want to hang out here, just go home. Nobody is going to stand in your way, Elder Xiao chimed in, a gentle sadness in his voice. We're nearing the end of our road, and most of our loved ones have already passed on. But you, Miss Yan, you've got your whole life ahead of you. Your bloodline, your family, they're still breathing. You need to be with them. It's where you truly belong. Princess Yan bit her lip, tears pooling in her eyes. But I don't want to say goodbye. Right then, Yi Chen grabbed his calligraphy brush, his hand sweeping across the parchment, effortlessly, crafting 3 or 4. The very first canvas revealed a breathtakingly tranquil village radiating absolute. The second illustrated a lone wanderer, exploring the vast expanse of the world. The third captured the pure essence of living a grounded, harmonious existence. And the fourth, it painted a harsh truth that the universe doesn't always bow to our desires. Sometimes destiny forces our hand, and we simply have to embrace the fallout. That is the true nature of life. As the crowd absorbed the profound wisdom woven into the ink, tears streamed down their faces. These masterpieces, they're beyond beautiful, so incredibly profound. We've never witnessed magic like this. Choking back her sobs, Princess Yan whispered, I get it now. I see the message you're giving me. Just like you asked. Yi Chen carefully rolled up the scrolls, a soft smile on his lips. It was an absolute pleasure crossing paths with you. If destiny permits, take this artwork as my parting gift. Lu Chengyi stood completely mesmerized, thinking to himself, just a handful of his brushstrokes, and I'm instantly hurled back to my youth. Back to those golden days when I laughed alongside my kin, utterly careless, chasing whatever sparkled in my eyes. In that era, absolute authority and overflowing riches meant absolutely nothing. The only treasure that held any weight was the warmth of my loved ones. Senior Yi Chen possesses literal sorcery in his fingertips. He completely shattered my emotional walls. Elder Xiao muttered under his breath, he could effortlessly eclipse the greatest literary sages this realm has ever known. I cannot fathom a single poet or scholar who could even stand in his shadow. The man is an unparalleled visionary, a generational anomaly who graces this earth perhaps once in a millennium. Princess Yan bowed her head gently. Very well, senior. I shall take my leave. Yi Chen nodded gracefully. Travel safe out there. Internally, however, he was screaming, please, for the love of God, don't ever come back. She dragged me into way too much drama, and I am definitely not built for round 2. Watching her fading silhouette, Yi Chen drifted into deep reflection. It's been ages since I crashed into this universe. Yet my entire existence has been chained to these peaks. I haven't taken a single step beyond this range. What does the real world even look like? Observing his silent contemplation, Elder Xiao whispered, He isn't just an absolute powerhouse. He possesses a heart of pure gold. If he truly desired the princess, would be trapped here forever. Instead, he gently guided her back to her roots. That single gesture screams louder than any martial arts technique. Senior Yi Chen operates on a dimension our mortal minds can barely process. Kia nodded fiercely. You're totally right, Master. Today my eyes were finally open to what a legendary supreme being actually looks like. Out of nowhere, Elder Xiao's gaze locked onto a discarded scroll. Nearby, his pupils shrinking in absolute terror. What on earth is... A violent, invisible force instantly sucked his consciousness straight into the inked landscape. The fundamental forces of yin and yang are swirling right in front of my face. This entire framework perfectly mirrors the sacred laws of our Yuanzhen. That towering summit, that's the exact peak where our sect was built. Good heavens, Senior Yi Chen didn't just paint a mountain. He recreated our entire Yuanzhen reality. He trapped the literal heavens inside this parchment. He wielded his brush as if he were molding the very crust of the earth. This masterpiece is a direct prophecy. It guarantees that the legacy of our Yuanzhen Holy Land will never die. Through this ink he has permanently etched prosperity into our fate. An indestructible blessing. A massive wave of epiphany crashed over him. It finally clicks. This is exactly why our sect is suddenly overflowing with monstrous prodigies. This explains why Junior Yanjian shattered his bottleneck to reach the transformation realm, and why my own spiritual core has surged so violently. If I push past my current limits, I'll ascend to an unprecedented peak. And backed by Senior's divine grace, my breakthrough is absolutely guaranteed. Kia tilted her head, completely bewildered. Holy Master, what's going on? Why are you losing your mind over a painting? The Holy Master threw his head. It's the ultimate truth, Mr. Yi Chen is the legendary founding father of our sect. His roaring laughter echoed across the courtyard. Our destiny has completely flipped. Yi Chen is the supreme ruler of our entire lineage. Absolutely nothing can halt our absolute dominance now. Kia gasped. Wait, Master, are you seriously implying that this landscape is the Yuanzhen Holy Land, and that Mr. Yi Chen is secretly one of us? Elder Xiao grinned wildly. I would stake my very life on this revolution. Senior Yi Chen has to be the mythological grandmaster who shattered the heavens and ascended to the upper realm. He must have descended upon witnessing our tragic decline, solely to orchestrate our glorious resurrection. This is a once-in-an-eternity jackpot for our entire family. Kia's jaw practically hit the... I was completely blind. I had absolutely zero clue that Senior Yi Chen was a mythical Master, you have to train me. Tell me exactly how to serve him without crossing any lines. My life literally depends on it. Elder Xiao's eyes grew distant as he continued. When my spiritual... I witnessed 5 distinct streams of golden light. The senior has literally showered our Holy Land with sheer luck, a blessing so rare, it's practically unheard of. Kia's eyes widened in absolute shock. Imbuing someone with luck through raw power? I've never even read about that. Is such a feat actually possible? Elder Xiao shook his head wisely. Everything in this universe operates on a hidden logic. Luck is a deeply mysterious cosmic force. I've witnessed it maybe a handful of times. Manipulating it is insanely difficult, but the rewards are unimaginable. If you can't grasp it, no amount of grinding will ever save you. You'll just be left in the dust. Think about the sheer scale of this. Someone willing to take such a massive risk to bless us like this. They're definitely not human. Only a supreme founding ancestor would go to such lengths for their followers. Which means Senior Yi Chen absolutely descended from the higher realms just to elevate our sect. And this little grocery shop, it's no mere store. It's a literal gateway to the heavens. Right on cue, Yi Chen strolled in. Oh, checking out my Yuanzhen mountain landscape. What's the verdict? He asked casually. Elder Xiao bowed his head with deep reverence. Senior Yi Chen, forgive my intrusion, but does this canvas depict our very own Yuanzhen Holy Land? Yi Chen blinked, caught totally off guard. How on earth did he spot that? Man, I really hope this doesn't drag me into some weird sect drama. Clearing his throat, he admitted, looks like you have a sharp eye. His mind instantly drifted back to his darkest days. 5 years ago, when he first crash-landed in this brutal world, he had desperately begged a local sect. Please just let me join the meeting. I might be missing a spiritual root right now, but I promise I'll awaken it. I'll scrub floors, anything. But the sect disciple just glared at him like trash. We don't take garbage. Get lost before I snap your legs, he had threatened. Back then, the Yuanjun Holy Land was worshipped as the absolute peak of cultivation. Yi Chen had tried relentlessly to join their ranks, only to get violently rejected and brutally beaten just for showing up. As he painted the landscape, he had muttered bitterly, "I just asked a simple question. Why jump straight to assault? A simple no would have worked just fine." Snapping back to reality, Yi Chen shrugged. "Well, that's ancient history. Life's pretty comfortable now." He tapped his chin, adding, "Though I feel like this piece is still missing a certain spark of life. The shading is a bit off." Elder Xiao's heart pounded. "So, the senior secretly descended to our realm exactly 5 years ago." Yi Chen clapped his hands. "Hey, you guys down for a drink? I've got a decent stash inside, and I hate drinking alone." Elder Xiao's eyes lit up. Finally, the perfect opening to offer my tribute. He quickly stepped forward. "Senior, I actually brought a rather exquisite vintage with me. I pray it meets your refined tastes. It's known as the Snow Spirit wine." Yi Chen grinned enthusiastically. "Oh, sweet, that works. If you're bringing the good stuff, grab a seat. Let me whip up some bar snacks to pair it with." As he walked off, Kia leaned in. "Master," she whispered, "that wine is a mythical grade treasure. It's brewed from the pure core of snow elementals, which only manifest once every 1,000 years. Cultivators would bankrupt entire kingdoms just for a single drop." Elder Xiao nodded solemnly. "Exactly. And its energy is so violently potent that even at my peak stage, I'd pass out after 3 measly cups. This is the ultimate test to gauge just how unfathomable the senior's cultivation truly is. Plus, it's the least we can offer a god." Moments later, Yi Chen strutted back, carrying a massive feast. "All right, I fired up some spicy smoked brisket and a hot broth. These are my absolute signature dishes. Dig in." Staring at the steaming plates, the 2 cultivators gasped. "This looks divine." Elder Xiao narrowed his eyes. "The aura radiating off this meat is suffocating. There is some terrifying power locked inside it." Kia gulped, her mind racing. If a supreme being cooked this, it's basically an elixir. Just smelling it might force a breakthrough. Elder Xiao broke out in a cold sweat. "Kia, this isn't spiritual energy. It's pure condensed demonic aura. And not just any beast. This is the flesh of an apex-tier demon king." Out of nowhere, an eerie, disembodied voice echoed, "Yup, that's my flesh. Eat up, don't be shy." Watching Elder Xiao and his disciple freeze up, Yi Chen frowned, genuinely concerned. What is wrong with these two? Do they have some kind of terminal brain damage? They're gawking at a plate of barbecue like it's a holy relic. Are they actually going to eat or just drool over it? Suddenly, the 2 of them snapped out of it and started aggressively wolfing down the food. Their faces flushed with sheer intensity. Elder Xiao practically cried, "Senior, this is mind-blowing. I have literally never tasted anything this incredible in my entire life." Yi Chen just scratched his head. "It's just smoked pork. Why is he being so dramatic over barbecue?" Meanwhile, an explosive surge of energy rushed through Elder Xiao's veins. "This apex is rapidly healing my meridians and skyrocketing my cultivation base. Usually my realm is so high that mortal food tastes like actual dirt. But this is absolute perfection. I can finally taste again. Next to this frost spirit brew, everything else tastes like dirty water." After taking a delicate sip, Jia's eyes flew wide open. This spiritual energy is completely off the charts. It's practically tearing through my veins. Just 2 mouthfuls in, and her vision was already spinning uncontrollably. With a soft thud, she collapsed face first onto the oak table, knocking herself completely out. Each 2 tiny sips and she's out cold. What a lightweight. Elder Xiao waved it off smoothly. Oh, she just lacks tolerance. But internally he was sweating bullets. This mystical brew and divine meat pack a terrifying punch. Even a mighty golden core master would be crawling on their knees right now. Masking his awe, the elder bowed his head respectfully. "Shall we resume our toast?" Pay her no mind. A cultivator's body can endure it. Shrugging, Yi Chen raised his ceramic cup once more. Swallowing the rich liquid, he licked his lips. "This has a really nice herbal kick to it. Gotta be absolutely fantastic for the immune system." Elder Xiao nodded eagerly. "Spot on, senior. Nothing escapes your profound wisdom." Draining his glass, Yi Chen smiled warmly. "You hauled this premium liquor all the way out here, and I'm thrilled. If there's any little trinket you'd like in return, name your price. I'd be more than happy to grant you a favor. Behind his generous smile, anything else I can manage. Meanwhile, Elder Shao's heart hammered against his ribs. Could it be? Has the great master already deduced my hidden motive for offering this sacred drink? Choosing his words with extreme caution, he whispered, Senior, I'll be blunt. That breathtaking landscape you painted, the Yuanjian mountain scene, it is an absolute divine relic. I am entirely captivated by it. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Crap. Was that too greedy? Please don't smite me, Almighty One. Yi Chen scratched his chin. Man, I just guzzled his top-shelf booze. It'd be super rude to shoot the guy down now. It's just a doodle anyway. Bracing himself for rejection, the elder pleaded. Could you possibly bestow that artwork upon me? Yi Chen chuckled. Go ahead, it's yours. It's definitely one of my prouder pieces, but I'm more than happy to part with it. Elder Shao froze, utterly thunderstruck. He just handed it over. Here I am, the exalted leader of the Yuanjin Holy Land, feeling like an absolute fool for begging. Next to this unimaginable deity, I'm literally an insignificant speck of dust, and yet he gifted me a peerless treasure without batting an eye. His boundless generosity knows no limits. Dropping into a deep bow, he cried out, I am forever in your debt, Supreme Master. I swear to uphold my duty, and I will spill my last drop of blood to ensure the Yuanjin Holy Land thrives. Empowered by your divine grace, absolutely nothing in this world can threaten our sect ever again. Yi Chen just stared at him blankly. Why is he making that intensely dramatic face over a stupid painting? These magic users are such massive weirdos. As midnight draped over the realm, the camera cuts to the opulent halls of the royal palace. An armored sentry dropped to one knee before the throne. Your Majesty, the 9th princess has safely arrived. Commander Liu Chengyi escorted her back. After a grueling 15-day manhunt, he activated a high-tier teleportation matrix to transport them straight home. He bears critical intelligence and begs an immediate audience. The sovereign waved his hand casually. Grant them entry at once. The heavy oak doors swung open, revealing Princess Yan and the battered commander. The young royal rushed forward. Father, I've finally returned. My liege, it is a profound privilege to stand before you once more. Emperor Yan Yang's stern face melted into a warm, relieved smile. Oh, my precious girl, you're a sight for sore eyes. But beneath his fatherly joy, his mind was racing. Her spiritual aura, it skyrocketed in a mere 2 weeks. How on earth did she pull off such a terrifying... The princess beamed. Daddy, it feels like an absolute eternity. I missed you so incredibly much. The emperor chuckled warmly. I've been sick to my stomach with worry for 15 days. But you clearly wanted to rush back, burning precious resources to trigger a spatial warp. Spill the beans, kiddo. Was this just some wild joyride? The girl's expression hardened into dead serious focus. Absolutely not, father. I crossed paths with a supreme master. A being... The sovereign burst into booming laughter. A supreme master? Are you pulling my leg? Unfazed, the princess pointed at her guard. If you doubt my words, just interrogate Commander Liu. He witnessed the man's godly abilities with his own 2 eyes. The commander kept his head bowed, his voice trembling slightly. Your Majesty, Her Highness speaks the absolute truth. To be complete, that terrifying encounter is exactly why I burned our spatial crystals. Securing the princess was my top priority, obviously, but delivering this world-shifting intel to you couldn't wait a single second. The emperor's smile vanished as he leaned forward. Very well, lay out every single detail. Without missing a beat, the commander unloaded the entire mind-bending saga. When he finished, Emperor Yang gasped. It is utterly incomprehensible that a titan of this magnitude has been lurking right under our noses in the Dayan Empire, and we didn't have a single scrap of intelligence on him. Tell me straight, Commander, this almighty deity you speak of, exactly where does his power level cap out? A cold shiver ran down Liu Chengyi's spine as he I beg for your mercy, my liege, but his realm of power absolutely defies human comprehension. An ant crawling on the dirt cannot fathom the height of the heavens. That is how terrifyingly vast his power is. Just stepping into his modest front yard reveals enough divine artifacts to morph a street beggar into an absolute god. Hell, he even uses a 1,000-year-old demonic leviathan tree as casual garden decor. Pulsing with raw power, the tea he brewed wasn't just rare. One sip literally turbocharged a person's cultivation. I handed him an ancient ice orb, a priceless relic, and he tossed it around like a cheap toy. Any normal fighter touching that artifact would suffer instant soul freeze. But he didn't even flinch. Heck, his mere house pet is a terrifying king-tier demon. That beast could have snapped my neck without breaking a sweat. But the craziest part, the master himself radiated zero spiritual pressure. Nothing. I pushed my senses to the absolute limit, but I couldn't pick up a single drop of energy. I'm calling it right now, this senior has either hit the peak of absolute perfection, or he dropped straight down from the higher realms. There's no other way someone that godly could mask their presence so flawlessly. Emperor Yan's jaw practically hit the floor. The higher realms? Princess Yan chimed in, utterly bewildered. Wait, and I never suspected he was a hidden god. The Emperor's mind raced, his eyes narrowing. A titan of that magnitude doesn't just casually crash in our territory. He has a motive. He's hunting for something massive, a mythical relic, an earth-shattering treasure, or a dark secret meant to stay buried. And he's keeping the world completely in the dark. Meanwhile, Princess Yan was lost in her own thoughts. I always knew Mr. Yi was hiding something, like a hero ripped straight out of the ancient legends. But an actual immortal from the heavens? No way. Wait, if he is a god, what does that make us? Dad has no clue this almighty deity actually cooked meals for me, spoiled me, and never laid a finger on me. Even after I completely disrespected him, he could have wiped me and our entire empire off the map with a snap of his fingers. But he spared us. Instead, he'd scold me for working too hard and whip up delicious snacks for me. Oh my gosh. Does Mr. Yi actually have feelings for me? Across the room, Emperor Yan squinted. Why is she acting so weird? Snapping back to reality, the Emperor pressed her. Think about it. You randomly woke up in his courtyard one night completely blacked out. Are you sure this senior Yi wasn't brainwashing you as a pawn? Lu Chengyi instantly jumped to the defense. No way, Your Majesty. That's absolutely impossible, the Emperor shot back. Is it? If he gains absolute control over the princess, he holds the leash to our entire empire and eventually the whole continent. Princess Yan stomped her foot. Stop it, Dad. You're wrong, Mr. Yi is incredibly gentle. He'd never stoop that low. Plus, look at his god-tier strength. He doesn't need cheap mind games. Emperor Yan sighed, shaking his head. You're too naive, kid. This world is crawling with monsters wearing the faces of saints. A warm smile doesn't equal a pure heart. And a titan playing at that level, we can't even fathom his endgame. But you make a fair point. True absolute power doesn't need parlor tricks. Fine, I've made my call. Ready the royal escort. The 9th princess and I are paying a visit to the founding ancestor. The room fell dead silent. Princess Yan gasped. Dad? What are you scheming? I just swore to you Mr. Yi is completely harmless. The Emperor raised his hands defensively. I'm not doubting the man, and I definitely don't want a death wish by crossing him. I'm just taking you to the ancestor for a little insurance policy on your life. Princess Yan bit her lip. Fine. But her mind was made up. I might not be good enough for Mr. Yi, but I will drag anyone who threatens him. Even my own flesh and blood. I've seen his wrath. I know exactly how that bloodbath ends. Emperor Yan's voice softened. Sweetheart, the day you were born, you awakened the absolute purest ice spirit root on the continent. Your raw talent was so blinding, it literally dragged our ancestor out of decades of deep meditation. He prophesied you would shatter every cultivation ceiling and forge a golden age for our empire. He personally gifted you the name Yanzi, earning the ancestors' direct blessing. Out of dozens of royal heirs, you are the sole child to hold that crown. It makes perfect sense that other cosmic heavyweights are sniffing around. As your father, it's my job to keep a shield over you, whatever the cost. Right on cue, the massive stone doors of the ancestral vault groaned open. A hollow voice echoed out. Yan Ziyu, step inside. The royal duo stepped into the freezing shadows, bowing deeply to the living legend of the Yan Empire, Yan Tianshan. The old ghost smiled thinly. Ziyu, your core feels remarkably dense. Running wild outside the palace walls really leveled you up, and I sense massive foreign karma weaving through your aura. Princess Yan looked up, her eyes sharp. Great ancestor, we have a major situation to report. Just a few days ago, I ventured into the Yuanjian Holy Land, and I crossed paths with an unimaginably powerful master. every single ounce of my recent cultivation breakthrough. Yan Tianshan narrowed his eyes, asking, just what kind of master are you even talking about? Princess Yan shook her head, her voice breathless. I honestly don't even have the words to describe him. His mastery over chess, calligraphy, and painting is absolutely out of this world. I swear in our entire kingdom, not a single living soul could ever hold a candle to his. Ancestor Tianshan stroked his chin, muttering, "It sounds like this figure of yours completely defies all logic." "No, it's not just that," the princess insisted. "This master I met, he kept his true identity entirely hidden in the shadows. He's an absolute enigma. The only shred of information I have is his last name, Yi. His full title, the Yi Chen King, but the locals simply call him Yi Chen." Ancestor Tianshan muttered the name under his breath, his expression shifting. The Yi Chen King surnamed Yi. A sudden wave of pure shock washed over his weathered face. Suddenly a terrifying surge of energy radiated outward from Princess Yan's core. Recovering his composure, the ancestor stated, "That name rings absolutely no bells for me. But I did catch on to something else, the freezing aura pulsing through your veins. It's magnified beyond belief. It's no longer just basic frost. It's evolved into something infinitely more profound. Clearly lingering around this man has drastically altered your foundation. Looking at this, I can confidently confirm one undeniable fact. This master of yours? His strength must be absolutely monstrous." Emperor Yang hastily chimed in. "Honored ancestor, our 9th princess, and General Lu Chengji are the only two souls who have actually laid eyes on this expert." The ancestor demanded, "Spill it all. Leave absolutely nothing out." He reported that this so-called Yi Chen King is hiding out as a hermit right in the middle of Yuan Town. The locals believe they are completely clueless about his true nature. The second Lu Chengji stepped foot into his courtyard, he was literally blinded by an ocean of priceless artifacts. Yet to this guy, they were basically trash. Get this, he even treats a terrifying king-tier demonic black hound like a common backyard pet. The ancestor flinched, utterly stunned. "What the hell are you spouting? A titan of that caliber is just lurking right under our noses?" In the Yuan, sweating bullets, Emperor Yang pushed on. "I was absolutely terrified. I had no idea how to handle it. The man is just way out of our league. And worse, Princess Ziyu crashed at his place for days. Please, I need you to run a thorough scan on her. Make sure her foundation hasn't been secretly tampered with. You're the only one who can guarantee she's unharmed." Ancestor Tianshan nodded grimly. "Fair point." Ziyu stepped forward. He gently rested his palm against the crown of her head, tapping her forehead with a single glowing fingertip. Boom! A colossal shockwave of raw spiritual power erupted straight out of the princess' jaw on the floor. Emperor Yang gasped. "Ziyu, she actually possesses twin, innate spiritual roots," the ancestor gasped, in absolute awe. "Unbelievable. She's literally awakened a dual spiritual root system. Could this insane miracle be the doing of that hidden master? Did he somehow force a second root to sprout?" Princess Yan blinked, completely dumbfounded. "Wait, I have 2 spiritual roots now." Grabbing her shoulders, Ancestor Tianshan demanded, "Ziyu, look at me. Who exactly is this monster of a master? I need every single detail right now." Still dazed, Ziyu answered, "Ancestor, he really is just as godlike as father claimed. But this crazy theory that he's using me as a puppet to hijack the Yan kingdom, that is utter garbage. He would never stoop to something so petty." Emperor Yang knitted his brows in deep frustration. "Then why are you riding so hard to defend him?" Ziyu fired back. "I'm not just blindly defending him. He doesn't even have a clue about my royal bloodline. Despite thinking I was a complete nobody, he still took the time to teach me the profound arts of music, chess, calligraphy. His entire courtyard is practically drowning in heavenly aura. To be brutally honest, I'd give anything to just stay there forever." My soul was completely at peace by his side. Ancestor Tianshan snapped his voice, razor sharp. "Cut the romantic garbage. Do you have any earthly idea how mind-blowing it is to artificially manifest a second spiritual root? That is a heaven-defying feat. You could grind." Emperor Yang aggressively nodded. "The ancestor is totally right. You don't just magically level up to this extreme by doodling on a canvas or moving chess pieces. If spawning twin roots was actually a walk in the park, every random beggar on the street would be a genius. Can you actually prove that this so-called master wields—" "I can absolutely prove it," Princess Yan insisted. "Mr. Ye actually gifted me a piece of his calligraphy." One look at his brushwork and you'll realize exactly how unfathomable he truly is. Meanwhile, back at Ye Chen's courtyard, the drinks were flowing freely, and the group had already downed more than their fair share of alcohol. Man, this vintage is incredible. Pour me another, Ye Chen demanded. Elder Shao immediately panicked, waving his hands. Senior, please pace yourself. If you keep throwing them back like that, you're bound to black out. Ye Chen just shrugged it off. Relax, a few more drops won't kill me. Inwardly, he scoffed. This so-called fairy is such a lightweight. She literally passed out after half a glass. Breaking the silence, Elder Shao spoke up. Senior, I spotted a chessboard out in your yard earlier, and it radiates this profound, enigmatic aura. Given your peerless abilities, you must be an absolute grandmaster at the game. I dabble, Ye Chen replied modestly. Suddenly, a spark lit up the old man's eyes. Senior, I have this fascinating endgame puzzle I'd love to show you, he offered excitedly. Hopefully it catches your interest. Sure, let's see what you've got. Elder Shao eagerly unrolled a parchment. This ancient layout is known as the Four Dragons Spitting Water. Deep down, the old man was desperate. No matter what strategies I employ, it remains utterly unbeatable. But a true master like him can definitely shatter this deadlock. Ye Chen stared blankly at the diagram, completely silent for agonizing minutes. Finally unable to bear the suspense, Elder Shao pleaded, Senior, please give me your thoughts. You've been quiet for ages. Breaking his silence, Ye Chen deadpanned, It's just a standard endgame puzzle, nothing too crazy. Elder Shao's jaw dropped. Wait, does that mean even you can't crack it? I've been banging my head against this wall for 100 years. Yet I fail spectacularly every single time. Ye Chen internally sweat dropped. This setup isn't even that complex, and this dude has been stumped for 100 years? Do these almighty cultivators just never use their actual brain? Leaning in eagerly, Elder Shao pressed Senior, Is there a solution? Ye Chen rolled his eyes mentally. It's literally just a logic puzzle. I could clear it in my sleep. But this poor old guy looks so incredibly stressed about it. Guess it's the perfect moment to flex a little. Standing up abruptly, he commanded, Come with me. Moments later, they gathered around the stone table. Elder Shao studied the pieces, his mind reeling. This is no mundane playing surface. It's a terrifyingly powerful artifact. It practically pulsates with the primal energy of heaven and earth, dictating the very flow of Tao formations. This has to be a mythical, immortal relic. Ye Chen casually rested his hands on his hips. There are exactly 12 different ways to beat this setup. I'll walk you through 4 of them right now. Master these, and you'll crush this scenario effortlessly from now on. As for the remaining 8 strategies, catching the drift, Elder Shao hurriedly bowed. Say no more, Senior. Once I've fully grasped these first 4 techniques, I swear I'll dedicate myself to unraveling the rest through my own Ye Chen smirked inwardly. But that wouldn't make me look like an absolute badass. Framing it this way makes me seem untouchable, like a profound mentor guiding his disciple. Meanwhile, the scene violently cut back to the royal palace. Ancestor Tian Shan was obsessively scrutinizing the inked scroll created by Ye Chen. Watching him, Emperor Yan swallowed hard. And to gauge the true depths of that senior's terrifying power. But just from glimpsing these brushstrokes, our revered ancestor looks like he just unearthed a primordial divine artifact. The ancient master continued tracing the character, utterly mesmerized, completely blind to his surroundings. When he finally looked up, heavy tears were streaming down his weathered cheeks. His voice trembled as he whispered, I have walked the path of cultivation for thousands of years. Yet reading this masterpiece, I suddenly realize, in my relentless, bloody race for eternal life and raw power, I abandoned every single soul who ever cared for me. This unfathomable master hasn't just written a brilliant poem. Woven into these very lines is the raw, unvarnished truth of existence. I have to find the original spark that started my journey. Endlessly chasing strength has blinded us, leaving us obsessed with sheer combat power. But tempering the mortal heart is equally vital. Without absolute mental clarity, we are nothing but empty vessels. Emperor Yan stood paralyzed in shock. What is the ancestor rambling about? Has he totally lost his grip on reality? He's dedicated thousands of years to achieving martial perfection. Yet now he claims power is completely meaningless. Sniffling, Ancestor Tian Shan turned around. Joe, if you ever cross paths with that senior again, make absolutely sure he receives my deepest gratitude, and tell him I bow to his greatness. By simply handing back that piece of calligraphy, he shattered a massive mental wall inside my mind. Mark my words. A major breakthrough is just over the horizon. Emperor Yang's jaw literally dropped. Ancestor, are you serious? You are actually ascending to the next level? Princess Yan chimed in, her eyes lighting up. Ancestor, hear me out. What if we pay Senior Yi another visit? It could skyrocket our cultivation, and you might hit your breakthrough in record time. The old man raised an eyebrow. What exactly are you plotting, little one? Yan smiled confidently. Before I headed back, I promised him I would drop by again. He explicitly told me his door is always open. The ancestor leaned forward, visibly stunned. Are you absolutely sure? Is that the absolute truth? Ziyu nodded. I wouldn't dare lie to you. But Emperor Yang immediately stepped in, his face tight with tension. Ancestor, I strongly advise against this move. This entire situation completely reeks of a setup. Sure, the guy wields godlike power, but absolutely nobody hands out favors for free. Think about it. He casually gifted Ziyu dual spiritual roots, handed her priceless calligraphy, and just gave her an open invitation like it was nothing. You know how this brutal world operates. To absolute monsters like him, regular folks are nothing more than pawns on a chessboard. They discard you the second you lose your value. I am terrified this guy is just dangling Ziyu as bait to hook you out of hiding. The moment those words left his mouth, the ancestor shut your mouth. It absolutely sickens me that the ruler of this empire is so incredibly petty. A true king needs grand vision, not this pathetic paranoia. You are totally blind to the fatal mistake you are making. That master went out of his way to bless us. He literally transformed your daughter into a prodigy. He is elevating this entire empire, and you dare question his motives. Yan jumped in, her voice trembling. Ancestor, please go. He is just terrified for my safety. The old man glared, his voice cold as ice. Ziyu, if he was not your father, I would have torn that crown right off his head by now. His arrogant suspicion could have doomed every single one of us. If the senior had overheard that disrespect, our entire bloodline would be erased from existence. Look, mediocre fighters frantically scramble for scraps of power, but eventually they hit a brutal wall. The only way to shatter that ceiling is to elevate the mind and soul together. And this Grand Master, his spiritual and martial prowess, sit alone at the absolute pinnacle of reality. He moved past the petty greed for dominance centuries ago. That is exactly why he just plays chess and practices his strokes. He does it out of pure joy. He blends perfectly into the mortal world, tasting the simplicity of a normal, quiet life. To maintain that kind of pure innocence with such terrifying might, that is the mark of a true deity. Emperor Yang's legs gave out, crashing to his knees. Ancestor, I was utterly wrong. Please show me mercy if you plan to visit this supreme master. I will instantly gather the most dazzling treasures our royal treasury. The ancestor sighed heavily. At least you finally see the light. But let me stop you right there. A being of his caliber could not care less about shiny Like I told you, he stands at the summit of creation. Worldly wealth is just dust in his eyes. Instead, I want a grand temple, raised right in the absolute heart of the capital. Decree that every citizen must offer daily prayers. Forge a massive golden idol in his glorious image, because out there in the flesh, he is quite literally a walking god. The very second the emperor's command left the palace, a royal herald echoed the decree through the bustling streets. Hear ye, by absolute royal decree, in exactly 3 days, every citizen. The streets instantly buzzed with frantic whispers. What in the world is going down in 3 days? Who on earth is dropping blessings on us? A random bystander chimed in. Look around, they are slamming together shrines on every corner, set to wrap up in 3 days. Rumor has it they are calling them the Chen King temples. They have to be worshipping some unimaginably supreme entity. But deep inside that gossiping crowd, a shadowy masked figure stood dead still. His eyes narrowed behind the mask. The royal bloodline is suddenly erecting holy shrines. This reeks of something massive. I have to feed this intel straight back to my king right this second. The camera cuts to a dark throne room in a rival nation, where a scout drops to one knee. My lord, urgent intel. The Dian Empire is frantically throwing up monuments. Does anybody have a clue what that actually implies? 2 heavily armored commanders leaned in, muttering furiously. Shrines out of nowhere? What is Dian plotting? Wait, If Old Man Tian Shan finally smashed through his limits and evolved into a monster, he could be gearing up to hit the battlefield himself. They might be building these statues to channel his newfound terrifying power to the masses. Or maybe it is just a massive PR stunt, a psychological game to flex their muscles and terrify their... A shadowed advisor stepped forward. Sire, we need to flood their borders with spies immediately. We are flying completely blind here. We are absolutely clueless about the real storm brewing over there. Boom. The scene violently cuts to the lavish and an enraged ruler slammed his fist down, bellowing, "I have funded an absolute army of spies and embedded them inside that We feed them lavishly, we pay them a fortune, yet when it actually matters, they give me absolutely nothing. Why do I even tolerate these worthless parasites? They cannot even uncover a simple truth. Like why those bizarre new temples are popping up out of..." Across the room his advisor remained perfectly still, murmuring, "My liege, breathe." While the full picture remains blurry, the intel I scraped together paints a fascinating picture. These shrines, they are dedicated to a mysterious figure dubbed Senior Yi. They have even forged a colossal, solid gold monument in his exact likeness right in the center. The masses are bowing down, treating him with a blinding, fanatical devotion. You do not just hand over that kind of blind faith to some run-of-the-mill saint. Whoever is commanding this level of worship, he has to be bordering on godhood. Honestly, he might have stepped straight down from the upper realm, solely to drag the Dian kingdom back from the brink of death. The sovereign narrowed his eyes. "So, what is our play?" The strategist smirked. "We deploy the heavy hitters, elite shadow assassins with peak martial prowess. That is the only way we are going to expose who this so-called senior actually is, and just how terrifying his true strength might be." Fast forward 3 days. The royal update arrived. "The grand shrine is finished. Your Majesty, we humbly request your personal inspection. We cannot afford a single blemish, because if we somehow offend that senior, the bloody fallout will be entirely beyond our control." Right on cue, a handmaiden rushed into the hall, gasping out, "Your Majesty, the ancestor is on the verge of a critical breakthrough. He is completely sealed off from the outside world. We absolutely cannot risk breaking his focus." The Emperor gave a slow, solemn nod. Hiding in the shadows, enemy operatives soaked in every single word. One phantom whispered, "Did you catch that? The legendary ancestor Yan Tian Shan? He is actually leveling up." Our Lord's intuition was dead on the money. His partner frowned, shaking his head. "No, that completely contradicts our original briefing. The first assassin just shot him a freezing glare. Who cares? We got what we came for. The second an opening presents itself, we slice the ancestor's throat and vanish into the night." The camera cuts over to the majestic peaks of Dongshan. An ocean of citizens flooded the plaza outside the new sanctuary. Looming over them all was a gargantuan monolith, completely veiled beneath a crimson shroud. Who could possibly warrant a monument like that? Constructing something this massive, this fast, he must be an absolute legend. Suddenly, a boom. "Make way for the supreme ruler and the 9th royal princess." Like a wave, the entire plaza dropped to their knees. The Emperor raised a hand. "I can see the burning curiosity in your eyes. Welcome to the Chen King Temple, a sacred ground raised in honor of Senior Yi. He is an enigma shrouded in myth. My lips are sealed regarding his true origins, but remember this: he is the ultimate savior of our realm. With just a sliver of his blessing, the very fate of our empire will be rewritten." Gasps of pure shock erupted from the crowd. An immortal being. If the sovereign himself is praising him like this, his power must be downright apocalyptic. Lurking at the edge of the plaza, a rival faction of scouts exchanged nervous glances. So the Dian kingdom actually has a literal deity watching their back. Another shadow nodded rapidly. Exactly. Their ancient founder has to be this supposed immortal. That explains this massive A third spy gripped his dagger. "Do we ambush them right now?" The leader instantly shot him down. "Are you insane? No. We rush this intel back to base. We are going to be drowning in gold for this." Back on the grand stage at Dongshan, the ruler gave a sharp nod. "Minister Huang, initiate the rites." The grand official stepped forward, his voice echoing out. "On this perfectly blessed, bathing in a golden glow, as radiant as our divine king himself, I officially pronounce the Chen King Temple Complete, the crimson veil plummeted to the earth. A towering, solid gold monument of Yi Cheng burst into view, blasting the entire courtyard with an insanely dense, suffocating aura. Spectators choked on the air, crying out, "What kind of terrifying pressure is this?" Royal guards instantly drew their blades, screaming, "Shield the Emperor!" Wait, this feels incredible. It is like a warm embrace. My exhaustion is just melting away. I feel completely reborn. The monarch stared upward, absolutely spellbound. This sculpture, it has spontaneously evolved into a divine artifact. And failed every single time. It is the ultimate proof. Senior Yi defies all logic, whether breathing in the flesh or frozen in golden stone. He is nothing short of a peerless supreme god. Without warning, a blinding pillar of pure energy erupted from the monument violently. Total chaos ripped through the plaza. What is going on? It feels like the heavens are about to smite us with divine tribulation. Lightning. The atmosphere snapped in a heartbeat. Serene twilight twisted into a nightmare of roaring thunder and violent lightning strikes. The masses shivered, screaming. Is the sky trying to wipe us out? Princess Yan gripped her father's sleeve, stammering. Father, this phenomenon, I have never read about anything like this in the ancient texts. This is completely unprecedented. We need to summon Mr. Liu Cheng immediately. Only he has the power to keep these people from getting slaughtered. The Emperor held up a steady hand. Hold your panic. Let us watch how this plays out first. Moments later, the violent swirling storm clouds began to peel back like a giant curtain. Jaws dropped across the plaza. Look up, this is breathtaking. The firmament had shattered into a brilliant five-colored aurora, and right in the dead center a solitary figure was hovering in the sky. Is that a transcendent grandmaster? Suddenly, reality itself bent as ethereal glowing seraphs glided down from the highest heavens. Their divine musical chorus echoed across the sky, sparking an absolute visual masterpiece. The Emperor fell to his knees, utterly breathless. The celestial realm itself has dispatched angels to bow before our senior's golden form. His sheer existence defies all logic. Even the heavens yield to his majesty. Suddenly a royal, Your Majesty. Bizarre phenomena are erupting all around the palace walls. An overwhelming, suffocating aura is swallowing everything. But here is the most mind-blowing part. Our founding ancestor is on the absolute brink of a breakthrough. The Emperor's face lit up with explosive joy. Wait, what? The ancestor is breaking through right now. This is glorious. If he actually pulls this off, he will be one step away from the upper realm, overwhelmed with gratitude. The Emperor and Princess Yan dropped into a deep, reverent bow. Thank you, Senior Yi. The Emperor's voice trembled with emotion. Senior Yi, if you just keep showering us with your divine grace, maybe one day I can ascend to the upper realm too. As long as you have our backs, our empire will crush all limits, and we will bow to absolutely no one. Meanwhile, over in the Chen Kingdom, the Emperor was practically foaming at the mouth. Why the hell is that ancient fossil still breathing? He is actually getting stronger. He whipped around to glare at his Grand Vizier. Spit it out. What else did you find? The advisor swallowed hard. We have a few troubling updates, sire. The Dian Kingdom has secured the backing of an absolute supreme master. While he guards them, a second strategist chimed in, sweating. But thanks to this mysterious senior's guidance, he is seconds away from shattering his bottleneck. A third minister stepped up, trembling. And when they constructed a grand temple in his honor, literal heavenly angels swooped down from the sky just to worship him. The entire sky violently shifted colors. The Emperor, a divine master who commands the worship of actual angels. And you idiots dare call this a minor detail. He violently hurled a jade vase at their heads, roaring, earth-shattering events are unfolding in the Dian Kingdom. And you brush them off like nothing. A sovereign master guarding an entire nation is a catastrophic threat. Get out of my damn sight right now. Cut to the tense halls of the Daja Kingdom Palace. A high-ranking official muttered nervously, "This year is shaping up to be an absolute nightmare. What a disastrous start." Another minister sighed heavily. It is over. Nobody can halt the Dian Kingdom's terrifying. A third noble clenched his fist. Their military might will completely dwarf ours. The rest of the world will be forced to grovel at their feet. Suddenly a seasoned elder interrupted. You fools are missing the point. The real threat isn't that old patriarch. It is this mysterious Senior Yi Chen. He is a total ghost, yet he is single-handedly elevating their entire empire. We need to unmask this guy immediately. A rival general slammed the table. Wrong. What we desperately need is a coalition. We have to unite the remaining kingdoms to crush. A scholar scoffed. Well, obviously. Every nation across the continent now shares one ultimate target. The Dian Kingdom. A cautious commander shook his head. You people are insane. Dian is already a juggernaut. Picking a fight right now is pure suicide. But the hot-headed general shot back. This is our one and only window of opportunity. If we let them finish gearing up, they will steamroll all of us. Out of nowhere, a quiet voice echoed through the tense room. What if history is about to repeat itself? He slowly elaborated. 1,000 years ago, this very world was fractured into 7 warring empires. God-tier martial experts spawned left and right, plunging the lands into endless bloodshed. The entire realm was teetering on the edge of total annihilation. That is, until an unrivaled overlord descended. With a mere wave of his hand, he forced the world into agonizing order. Dozens of empires were wiped from existence, while those who fell to their knees were spared. From the ashes, 4 mighty kingdoms were forged, the exact same 4 that dominate the map today. To honor his terrifying might, the ancestors decreed that a sanctuary dedicated purely to that peerless god. But then, he vanished without a trace. The world never saw him again. And with him gone, the bloody and humanity once again let their ravenous hunger for dominance blind them. Cut back to our boy Yi Chen. What the hell kind of fever dream was that? I literally saw hordes of people from foreign empires constructing massive shrines for me. They even forged this insanely huge golden statue of my face. And tens of thousands were bowing down to me, praising me as some sort of supreme god. Even literal angels floated down to greet me. It felt horrifyingly real. Like I was physically standing there. But come on, I don't even possess a basic spiritual root. There is zero chance that actually happened. Still, I have been having some seriously wild dreams lately. Honestly, my sleep quality has been phenomenal. I wake up buzzing with energy every single morning. It has already been 1 full month since that weird old dude took off. I seriously wonder if he managed to crack that 4 dragons spitting water riddle. I literally walked him through 4 different methods. But there are still 8 mind-bending solutions left to figure out. If that geezer couldn't crack it in a century, there's zero chance he's figuring it out now. Glancing at the supposedly precious parting gifts, he scoffed. Seriously, what kind of junk is this? A rusty medallion and a literal rock. He flashed back to the agonizing hours he had spent trying to drill some sense into Elder Xiao's thick skull. He'd even snapped at the old man out of pure exasperation. But the guy was denser than a brick wall. Zero comprehension. Are all the big shots at Yuanzhen Holy Land this clueless? He muttered. Man, if I just had a sliver of a spiritual root, I'd show them. Irritated, he chucked the medallion across the room. Trash. But his fingers lingered on the stone. Whatever, I'll hang on to this rock. Might make a decent paperweight someday. The exact moment he thumped the stone onto his desk and turned his back, and an intense, suffocating aura started seeping from the cracks. Completely oblivious, Yi Chen strolled into his study, stretching his arms. A perfect morning demands a perfect routine, he beamed. Grabbing his favorite brush, he slashed elegant strokes across the parchment. Brush feels good. Paper's holding up. But why the heck is glowing golden mist oozing from my ink? He blinked, intrigued. Hold up, let me try writing another character. Yi Chen lost himself in the rhythm. He crafted symbol after symbol, and with every single flick, radiant gold vapor swirled directly out of the dried ink. A massive grin spread across his face. Okay, this is insanely fun. I might be completely magicless, but making my handwriting literally smoke gold. That's a massive flex. A wild thought hit him. Wait, is this my hidden cheat skill? Have I had this all along? His eyes sparkled with sheer hype. Finally, I actually have a superpower. Just outside the master is terrifyingly omnipotent, the beast thought, shivering. It's like his very fingertips weave the fabric of reality. Every casual doodle he makes transcends the mortal realm. Meanwhile, Yi Chen admired his glowing masterpiece. Man, my penmanship is gorgeous, but that magical smog really gives it that premium aesthetic. All right, time to level up. He swapped to a fresh canvas, but when he casually glanced out the window, his jaw dropped. Massive apocalyptic thunderclouds had materialized, perfectly mirroring his sketch. Stunned, Yi Chen's mind raced. What the hell? That hurricane is a carbon copy. And it literally spawned the exact second my brush left the paper. Did I just paint the weather? Needing proof, he aggressively slashed a jagged line of silver ink across the stormy canvas. Boom! A blinding lightning bolt immediately shattered the sky outside. Rushing into the courtyard, he burst into manic laughter. I freaking knew it! The heavens didn't abandon me. The myths say supreme overlords can rewrite reality with a mere gesture. They can alter the atmosphere, soar through the clouds, and ascend to the divine realm with just a thought. I was literally doing a warm-up sketch, and nature itself bowed to me, which logically means I am the legendary master everyone is terrified of. Trembling with pure adrenaline, he roared to the heavens. I've been a disguised god this whole time. He dramatically thrust his empty palm into the pouring rain and commanded, "Obey my will. Clear the skies." Crickets. The rain kept dumping on his face. After 30 awkward seconds, his confident smirk vanished. Why isn't it working? He rubbed his chin gears, turning. Then it clicked. Duh! The cheat code is tied to my calligraphy tools. He grabbed his ink brush, pointed it aggressively at the clouds like a wand, and yelled, "All right, let's see what you've got." Instantly, the atmosphere warped. Thunder deafened the courtyard, and a blinding arc of raw electricity zeroed in, striking his brush point blank. Bzzzt! The shock blasted through his entire body. Hair standing on end, he choked out a cough. What the heck? So why don't I feel an ounce of spiritual energy? Is this just... Suddenly, his eyes blew wide open. Wait. There is one absolutely insane possibility that nobody even considers. I didn't just awaken a spiritual root. I must have lucked into a god tier 1. Fast forward a few days. Massive shadow-casting dreadnoughts descended over Yuan Town, leaving the locals completely starstruck. Look up. Those cruisers belong to the Jigan Holy Land. They're here to throw down with our Yuanjian sect. The crowd gasped in pure awe. The ordinary townsfolk gazed upward, their voices. Imagine cruising the skies in a beastly battleship like that. Dirt-poor mortals like us could never even afford to sweep the decks up there. If only just one kid from our bloodline could awaken and ascend to immortality. High above the cultivators, from Jigan Holy Land, scoffed at the scene below. They actually let mere mortals roam around here. What sort of pathetic sanctuary lets ordinary folks wander wherever they please? A fellow disciple chimed in. Exactly. True power requires a flawless foundation. Without a pure spiritual root, martial arts... These peasants possess trash-tier roots. They're destined to rot at the bottom. Adjusting his glasses, another disciple smirked. Hold on, Senior Brother Liu. Unless my memory fails me, your bloodline isn't exactly divine either. Not a single person in your family tree ever touched cultivation, so maybe climb down from that high horse. Liu's face instantly twisted into an ugly scowl. The hell is that supposed to mean? He snarled, signaling his lackeys to step up. You looking for a death wish? The bespectacled guy panicked, waving his hands. Whoa, back off. You totally misunderstood. I'm just keeping it real. You treat these ordinary folks like dirt beneath your shoes. But you crawled out of the exact same mud. Think about it. Put us next to an absolute powerhouse like Senior Sister Tantai, and we look just as pathetic. A chilling voice suddenly echoed from the shadows. Fascinating perspective. You've grown a rather sharp tongue. The crowd parted. It was none other than Yan Chengfeng, the ruthless holy son of Jigan Holy Land. Liu swallowed hard, a cold sweat breaking out. Crap. Praising Tantai right to Chengfeng's face? He's gonna slaughter him. Chengfeng's eyes narrowed into icy slits. So let me get this straight. You believe my title as Holy Son is utterly worthless, and Tantai reigns supreme? Desperate to salvage the situation, Brother Liu leaped in to smooth things over. No, sir. You've got it all wrong. Our Holy Son and Holy Saint stand shoulder to shoulder in raw power. It's completely impossible to declare a clear winner. A menacing smirk crept across Chengfeng's face. Glad we cleared that up. You possess decent talent, certainly, a cut above the rest of this trash, but never forget your place in the pecking order. Cross that line between junior and senior, and you will face devastating consequences. The disciple folded in half, trembling. Forgive me, I spoke way out of line. Did he now? What exactly did he say that was so incredibly wrong? The air froze. Heads whipped around as Senior Sister Tantai glided onto the scene. Her voice was smooth, yet commanding. Enlighten me. Which of his words shattered your fragile ego? The crowd instantly buzzed with awe. She's like a literal goddess, stepping down from the heavens. Changfeng ground his teeth. He dared to mock the Holy Sun. Blatant disrespect toward a superior demands severe punishment. Tantai didn't even blink. Is that a fact? Because my ears caught something completely different. He simply stated I possess superior strength. Since when does a compliment aimed at me translate into an attack on you? Our very own Holy Master repeats that exact sentiment on a daily basis. He constantly points out that my talent and raw power eclipse yours. So does our master ruthlessly insult you. This junior merely echoed the master's truth. So point out the grand offense. The onlookers gasped, murmuring frantically. Senior Sister Tantai is absolutely stunning. She's practically ethereal. Shengfeng's face flushed with pure rage. Watch your mouth, Tantai. Are you boldly declaring you can crush me in battle? Then let's put money on it. Time to prove who holds real power. I sit as the Holy Sun, you stand as the Saint. Only one of us gets the throne of the future Holy Master. So let's lock in a wager at the upcoming Yuanjian Holy Land tournament. The loser permanently surrenders their right to the Master's throne. Tantai offered a pitying smile. Senior, are you losing your grip on reality? Our master laid down an ironclad rule. Whoever breaks through to the nascent soul stage before their 40th birthday inherits the throne. Or is the mighty Holy Sun terrified I'll cross that finish line first? Changfeng let out a harsh defensive scoff. Cut the crap. My cultivation realm crushes yours. Why the hell would I fear you? Before the argument could escalate, a hauntingly beautiful melody drifted through the air. It's utterly mesmerizing. The surrounding disciples fell dead silent, captivated by the tune. Wait, is that a piano? It sounds phenomenal. I mean, it's neat, but next to a musical prodigy like Senior Sister Tantai, it's basically noise. Tantai's eyes widened. Silence! The sycophants instantly clamped their jaws shut, exchanging